I get into Marisil, I'm hitting the gap into Corinth, and I get to almost Excel sign top of the world. I say, you see that thing all the time. Terrell is the bike clean, sweet looking. So I ride it, my helmet on, everything, I ride it slow. I was probably in like 5th gear, so it's just easy putting. I said, to hell with it. Bam, bam, bam. 4th gear. Glasgow corner. Down Montreal Hill. Not Montreal Hill, what you call it? I'm sure. Getting ready for the bridge. Getting ready. Them time there, you have MNC, not MNC, JQ. JQ still selling sponge. Yeah. And JQ have a big gate selling sponge on the highway going. And I come around and I'm getting ready now to take JQ. Boy, I see a white Cherokee, 2-door.
Okay, good night, folks. Tonight on Grown Folks Only, we on road safety part 3. Due to the increase in road fatality, we're looking at 15 for the year with accidents too much to cover. We covered the first aspect with the panel, then we went into the insurance, but today we're going to go beyond the rules of the road with our star-studded panelists of motor enthusiasts, organization terrorists. Mr. Terrell Compton, Mr. Bolo Khalil, Mr. Desmond, and the legendary Carol Taxi Viral. And of course, to balance the panel off, we have our lovely female panelists, Miss Simone Bishop Matthews. Put your hand down, ma'am. Femi, and of course, Kay in the corner. We also have Mr. Rouhani, I believe. Rihani Isidore. Rihani Isidore, sorry for butchering your name, as our media perspective, to give us a little perspective on from a reporter's point of view. So we're gonna do a couple of case studies. First one opening with some tragedies, unfortunately. First one coming up, the historical average around 20 to 22 deaths annually. We go into Dennery. Recall the heartbreaking Mother's Day's Eve crash in Richford, Dennery, where 20-year-old, two 20-year-olds, Javon Lewis and Dexter Smith, lost their lives in motorcycle collisions. So I'm gonna point this to our motorcycle experts. We have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 riders on the panelists, which are varying. You ride motorcycles too, Kay?
Yeah, we don't want it to train wheels.
I'll drink to that. Yeah, I'll drink to that. Agua.
All right. You'll drink to that. Okay, so let's get some perspective on that motorcycle accident in Dennery. Anyone recall the circumstances around that?
I'm trying to remember which accident is that exactly. That's the one. The guy was in this community, and I think on a concrete road or something. So
it's it was 2 of them. That one on the bike, a rider,
a pillion rider.
Both of them died.
I think I remember that one. And he hit into a vehicle.
Yeah.
Right, as on a small road.
Yeah.
Wasn't that with your partner?
Which one?
His name begins with E and he'll have something in it.
Ian, have something in it, isn't it?
I don't know call his name.
Okay, let me ask a question. Are we going to talk specifically about the accidents, or are we going to talk like, or can I speak on the mechanisms behind motorcycle crashes?
We're looking at the mechanisms behind motorcycle crashes.
Okay. So, can I take this one? Okay. I think what happens with motorcycles, I ride as well. Firstly, one of the things that people enjoy is the form factor of the motorcycle, the packaging, the sizing. Because when you have traffic, you can filter between the traffic. You have to understand that a motorcycle is not something that is static in its form factor. It is dynamic. Because what happens is that when you lean for a corner, it widens the motorcycle. A lot of riders overtake around corners where they have no visual perspective on whatever is coming. Okay?
And I think that's when the motorcycle is most at risk of destabilization.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're offsetting the equilibrium. Because what happens is that with a car, you have 4 connection points of the road. Okay? Weight is distributed over 4 points. The other thing for a motorcycle is that, unlike a vehicle that basically surrounds you, you surround the motorcycle. So that means that even if in a crash, you are legally right, you have right, but guess what? Physically, what happens to you?
You are the airbag.
No, you're the bumper.
Now look at something.
You're the
Now,
bumper.
I work with the Ministry of Health as well.
You're
Okay.
the bumper.
So what happens is that in the various health centers, the less severe crashes, we normally see a lot of foot injuries. Guys wear slippers. Guys wear I would say that the types of materials of the shoes. Like for instance, the boots that I wear. These boots have ankle protection. It goes up halfway up my shin. It has toe protection and these sorts of things. It has sliders. The thing is that it's not the most comfortable thing to wear. But at the end of the day, I always tell people, exactly, it's function over form. Now, the good thing about motorcycle gear is that it has come a long way. The way I'm dressed right now, I could be dressed like this and still have motorcycle gear on. The reason being is that they wear skinny fit jeans that are made of Kevlar. Same material as bulletproof.
Yeah.
Bulletproof vest.
Right. Now, I myself have a pair, and it has knee pads and shin pads. They sell shirts like this that have built-in back pads, and everything is like it hugs your body, okay? So it does not look like bulky or anything like that. But what happens is that...
How much is it?
Well, you could. No, that's a good question. It's a good question. But I was
Just
just...
another question. How much is your life worth?
Well, that
That's
too...
also a good question.
Hey, I'm talking Trinidad. You're too fast. You're too fast. I was just coming to that. Okay. The motorcycle gear, we have to remember, this is not like in the early 2000s and so on. China has opened up the market greatly. So with their level of production, the cost per unit has gone down exponentially over the years. So for instance, the jacket that I have, which is like a hoodie, was 80 US. Okay? Let's look at a stay at Tapion.
Let's look at that.
Listen. From the time you pull up handbrakes in the parking lot, you're on the clock. Okay? Right. And then it's not only that, it's the opportunity cost of your downtime as well. Because the thing is that motorcycle injuries tend to be moderate to severe. So I was talking about the Ministry of Health and, like, let's say the types of injuries that we get. The more moderate or lighter injuries that we get are generally foot and leg injuries. Okay, so fractures, ankle, delamination. You all know what delamination is?
Skin.
You rub your toes?
Your
When the
skin,
bottom of your
the
foot
skin
comes down.
on the foot peels back like a foreskin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why you say that like that?
No, because at the end of the day, it's grown folks. We're on grown folks podcast, right?
Yeah.
So we have to run it like, you understand? We have to be real about this. And the thing is that what happens is that these guys, I mean, when they're, because at the end of the day, I mean, let's be honest now. Everybody knows when you're on a motorcycle, technically eyes are on you.
What way?
Well, we'll talk about that. I was just about to come to this part. When you're showing off, yes, eyes are on you. When you fall, more eyes are on you. And you become immortalized because now, click, 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 you're on film. So what happens now, like with these guys, nobody sees them when they're in the health center screaming. I remember there was a particular time, that's before they shifted Castries Health Center to where Betty Wells is now. There was a guy, they were dressing his foot and the guy was screaming so much, a woman had to cover her child's ears because the child had to go and take an injection. The child saying, make body like that, and I next. So the child said, fuck that. So the mother had to cover his ears. No, they'll not do you that, they'll not do you that. But that stuck with me, because the guy was on a scooter and stuff. I think they ran an intersection, they impacted the car, and obviously, just by the mechanisms in your body, your natural mechanisms, your equilibrium, you try to catch your fall, you put down your feet first, that's the closest to the ground. So statistically, the most common injury on motorcycles, leg and feet.
Yeah.
So okay, let me ask you all a question. What's the second highest one?
Yours.
That's right.
Hands.
10 points to my brother over there. You understand? The man deserves his mouth.
Let me just jump in on something here, Desmond.
Tell me.
One of the things motorcyclists don't realize is something that is called factors. Okay? So, as I said earlier on to someone in the panel I was speaking to, I said, you can have a 1300 motorcycle, and your 1300 motorcycle is riding at 5 miles an hour. You're riding a 1300cc 5 miles an hour. You have a 1,000 5 miles an hour. You have a 600 5 miles an hour. So you now have to put into account factors. So what are factors that affect a motorcyclist on the road? So if you look at a chain, and each chain has a link, each link contributes to another link, right? They intertwined, you can say,
I like that.
right? So first thing first, if we go back to the Dennery aspect, look at the area, the size of the road. Look at the cars that were on the road. Look at the condition of the road. Look at the condition of the bike. So these are all factors. You have a bike, you have the right tire. The air pressure, not the right air pressure. All of these are
The bike
factors.
not properly maintained.
The bike is not properly maintained. All of these are factors that already add up to the equation which will lend you to find yourself in an accident sooner rather than later if you don't reverse it. So the aspect of the bike itself and the maintenance of the bike and the area you ride in, on the day you ride in, if it's raining, if it's a fifine. The worst thing is when you have a wet road.
A light rain.
I'm sorry, not a wet road, sorry.
Right,
A
just
hot day
Yeah.
and a fifine come down.
light,
My
light,
brother,
yeah.
you
That
never
was
do that as a little boy. You just running and you skating.
Yeah, that was
That-
super.
that-
No, well, it's not that just running and skating, you know, the light rain. What it
No,
does-
but that's what I'm saying.
What it does, it raises all that
oil.
grease.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
until
saying on
the-
your shoe.
And
When-
it wouldn't wash it out.
But that's what I'm telling you,
If
on
you
your
just
shoe,
raise it on
you
the-
can
on the
run.
road.
and
Let
just
me ask
stop
you,
and will
Terrell.
skate.
So then,
So just imagine
do you
on a
think
bike.
that? Do you think that like it would be something for future planning that some sort of a basic maintenance cost be included with your riding credentials when you're applying for your
Well,
license?
yes and no. This is my take on that.
And just now, before we get done, I just remember something. Remember that road before they paved it from Dennery
The Dennery
to
stretch.
to
When it was white.
To you're right, it was white.
The light
yeah,
dust.
Yeah, so that's the 15 road, you know.
Yes,
Every day
yes.
I would go down. I remember
Yes.
when I was working going to the mall and they sent
Yeah.
me to the brewery because I had a car. Unfortunately, I had a car, so they basically go to the
Unfortunately?
yeah.
Yeah,
They basically could have leave gas crews and go to the brewery in Rivot to for job training. And every morning religiously, I used to see new marks, fresh marks on the
Yes,
road. And
yes,
like, what going on?
I'm on slide out.
You know how many taxi fellas take it there already?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I found out why a morning I was going down as early. Every morning I late, I flying down. But that morning I was early, I was coming down real slow. But I used to drive on the road faster at the
Yeah.
time. Yeah. So I was accustomed to that. But I just in the corner and I feel like the ass coming around. I say, what wait? I slow. I like maybe like
When you say the ass, you're not talking about your ass. You're talking about the ass of the
of
car.
course, yeah.
That's good. I'm sitting right here. You know. Just making sure. Just making sure. Just making sure. Yeah.
no batty one thing.
Yeah. No.
So
I thought that was a prison story for us.
No, I'm just making sure we
well,
clear.
we drivers, we know what we're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah, no places. You know what we're talking about.
That's rotating on.
Yeah.
The back of the car coming around.
Yeah.
Yeah. And usually I meet a truck. Every morning I meet a truck coming up that same time.
Wow.
That morning, the brewery truck wasn't coming up.
Boy,
Yeah. And the car,
jobless.
almost caught me by surprise and I couldn't correct it. Usually I would be able to correct it.
It catches slide.
Yeah.
And you have how many wheels?
4. So I came across
5, the steering wheel, and Jesus hold that one, eh?
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say the spec.
No.
But
This
there's
one,
one.
Jesus had hold that one that day.
You asked the question there. Yeah.
So a lot of people going to riding, driving, a lot of people don't realize and take notes of the conditions.
But that's where that's leading to exactly
what you're saying about your tires. On my bike, well, how I used to ride years ago is not how I ride now.
Yeah.
You understand?
Right. You get brighter.
Before I bought my last bike, I applied different.
Your experience played a factor.
Yes,
Right.
yes. And
Right.
I make sure I apply all my knowledge to my riding right now because I work for myself. I can't afford to be in there.
Right. Yes.
Yes, and I use my bike for work. So like, Terrell on the road every day.
24/7.
I on the road more than
on the road every day.
Yeah.
yeah, on the road every day, 24/7.
24/7,
Yeah, my hand
yeah.
grip's finishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow,
But you see, what you just alluded to there, where you said the way you used to ride before and the way you ride now. Going back to what Desmond said earlier on, I don't think that the system needs to teach people how to maintain their
Maintain
bike.
the bikes, uh-huh.
Because nobody's going and learn to drive from a car perspective on how to change your oil and do all of that. What the system has to do though, is drivers have defensive driving classes, right? So you obtain your license, your first year, and then after your first year, you need to go into a classroom setting and learn defensive driving.
So that's currently going on with
but-
riders.
For riders,
but they don't have it for riders.
They don't.
So what you have now is, how does a rider learn about factors when he or she has no idea? And Bolo confirmed it. The way you used to ride, with time, you have learned a lot.
Yes.
You have educated yourself more. You have a better understanding. So the risk you would have taken then. So imagine.
It's not just about risky, though, Terrell.
Well, when I say risk, mind you, it can be
Yes,
maybe
yes,
riding
yes.
with a tire that has less grip.
Yes.
That's
The
a
amount
factor.
of
That's a
bikes-
risk.
Yes.
That's
The
a
amount
risk.
of bikes
You know what I
that
mean?
drive
Not
behind and the
necessarily,
tires
you know.
finishing.
So here's something here.
Yeah.
Bolo, I have a question for you. As a more experienced rider, what are the differences that you notice between yourself and other riders on the road on a daily basis? Because I do see you on the road every day. So I know you ride every day.
Yeah.
So I don't ride as often as you. So
Yeah.
what do you see that is a stark difference that you think
Okay.
riders can on average improve on?
All right, cool. Coming from Dominica, Daga, he told me that St. Lucia's ride hard. Yeah, but they ride and they like fellas to see their flow. So they don't ride too hard.
You're right.
But us in St. Lucia, we don't like a man to see us passing on our nice bike and them thing. We like a man to say, "Wah,
Who that
boy,
pass there?"
Who that pass there?
Right,
You check it?
right.
But that one real pass there.
Yeah.
You check it? Yeah.
Okay,
That
first time I
one
heard about
wanted
that
him
one.
to call on a bike.
Me.
You check it?
Just see me.
So that's the main thing for our riders. So with me, I don't mind him to call. I'll get from point A to point B.
Right.
And back to point A.
Yeah, and back to point
I always
A.
tell people that
And
the victories in arriving.
yes, the choosing arriving.
Yeah.
And a lot of fellas sometimes they might just start riding. They ride in a group. Let's say the fellas going down south, and fellas leave them, and they only try and follow. No,
Right.
ride your ride.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's right.
Race your race.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
That's right.
And the other thing too is that the basic fundamentals, and I say I don't ride how I used to ride before, but one of the first things I always used to do when I got a bike is to jump on the bike, maybe go VG stretch, full throttle, and try to stop.
Yeah.
Everybody want to go, but nobody want to stop.
Right.
Figure out how to stop that bike.
Or get in the situation to figure out whether the brake's actually effective or
Effective.
not.
And,
Right.
and even before stopping with the brakes, you have to think about your tires. A lot of people just jump on a bike and flat out, wash. Are your tires warm?
Yeah, that's
What
true.
did- why-
No, the
why-
compounds are soft.
Why when you have MotoGP, you have races,
Yeah.
you get to warm up your tires first.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to get your tires up to temperature for them to work.
What he's saying is right there on sports bikes, especially the type of tire compounds that they have is generally soft, and that means that it has an operating temperature. No. Well, the thing is that here's something. There are a lot of guys who purchase sports bikes and don't know this.
They don't know this.
There are a lot of guys who purchase sports bikes and don't know this.
Yes.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, if we're getting technical, I don't think that we're at a point where the average viewer of the podcast might not be able to follow. As a matter of fact, they should be listening to this part. Because, for instance, let's look at a bike that's like you said you have a 600cc motorcycle,
I
right?
said that my friend that have.
Story jump.
Anyways, to the rest of y'all. to the rest of y'all, hey. Somebody told me have a 600cc motorcycle. Now, with these types of bikes, for instance, especially the 4-cylinder motorcycles, some of these guys think that I've heard people say that these bikes are like small bikes and these sorts of things. No.
Those bikes
I've heard those bikes can do upward of 130, 140, 150 miles an hour.
600? Yeah, man.
Now, here's the other thing too. The power band.
First gear, you get to about 80 miles per hour.
Okay.
from 8,000 to 15,000.
Right now, but as we're talking about tires, I'm tying this into the tires. Here's what fools a lot of the guys.
In a first gear on let's say on an R6, you can come out by Northwest, and before you get to the roundabout, you'll be 80 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
here's the thing
Wait,
when it comes
from
to
Terra bike, you
Northwest
can do that
to
too.
where? Hypothetically, we're talking
The roundabout, you'll be at 80 miles per
yeah,
hour.
about 80, yeah.
from Northwest to the roundabout.
Yeah.
How many gears the bike
first
has?
gear.
6 gears.
6 gears.
Yeah.
First gear,
So
you'll
put
be
it
at
this
80 miles
way,
per hour.
if you take your bike from the corner when you come out VG stretch, you go 1, 2, 3, you buy the roundabout. If you run the bike, 1, 2, 3, you buy. You have before you reach the roundabout, you run up to 4 just to let her breathe, and then drop back, start backing down because the amount of compression
But
you're going to be
we're still
running.
talking about 600s, right?
Yeah, 600 there.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
any one of them.
600 sports bikes.
No, now because I've seen your bike as an example. You know how cold tires can catch you. Jason, we don't pick the 600?
But Desmond, hold on, Desmond. Desmond, you know I used to drive for Glock, so I aware of these figures.
No, but I'm saying,
let's go.
But for the average rider that thinks like a 600 is kind of like subdued in the lower RPM, yes. But these bikes have a duality to their nature. Because the thing is that it has a small displacement engine, but it makes a lot of power at the top.
Yeah, that's
so you will roll into the throttle, and the bike will just be accelerating steadily, and all of a sudden you have this big boost of power when it picks up.
Yes.
And that is where the cold tires come into play, because that is when the power overcomes the adhesion of the tires, and all of a sudden now you stand up at the sky wondering how I end up here.
And that has happened real fast, eh?
But that's the point I'm making. So that's why I'm talking about cold tires. And a lot of guys that have fallen have said like when they just left their home. Just left their home, pull their first two corners and stuff like that and fall on the
So a friend of mine give me a story. He say a partner buy a bike. The one just give that one ring and the bike just fall off breakers like in two places.
It spin.
Two places?
It spin.
One
Spin. That bike had to upturn.
Wow.
That's what
twist-
happened. And then
twist is like-
the thing is he froze and he hold the bike in his hand.
Yeah,
He
twist
didn't
is like-
recognize what happened and he just fall.
Yeah.
One.
Well, just one more thing about, because I don't want to continue talking so much on motorcycles, plus everybody else have to talk. With a motorcycle, you have to be gentle with the controls.
With anything that full of power.
Yeah.
Well,
You have to nurture.
to be honest, if you bull rag a scooter, it can throw you down. You understand?
That does.
I see a lot of the guys, when they're riding the bikes, especially in the corners, they blip in the throttles, blipping.
Yeah.
And that upsets the chassis, because the thing is that a bike shifts around a lot. Your weight moves around.
Yeah, then you have the gyro.
I don't use MotoGP as necessarily a reference, but we cannot deny it. When the guys are braking, they move around their body to to manipulate the dynamics of the machine. So on a motorcycle, it's not as forgiving, because obviously you only have 2 tires touching the road as opposed to 4. And then when you lose grip, then that means that's half your grip gone in one fell sweep.
It even flying
So
faster.
look at the factor for you.
Tell me,
the
Ken.
shock bar. So here you are coming around the corner and the shock bar. A car,
Like it's Carnival
you have
Tuesday, you're
4
winding on the
shocks.
road.
You have one nut off your car, you go feel
Yeah.
it, you go. But a bike at 30 miles an hour reacting with a bad shock is a nightmare waiting to happen. Because any little thing, the shock is then going to do.
So, but not just that. So,
You know, there's a few factors y'all are forgetting, and these are the human factors: the nuance of riding and driving, the lack of mentorship or experienced persons passing down the information like we are right now, telling it, and also in terms of, I know when I did my defensive driving, we went on the morning and
Yes,
they explained to us about
The little classroom.
hydroplaning, look at like every little thing. Now the last time I remember we spoke, they said you can just do it online. All right, which I find which is nonsense. All right, you need to go because
A,
you can
B,
put
C, or D.
you can put your phone and watch a video and be distracted watching something and then
You never fool. You. In other words, you're in the webinar, but you're not in the webinar.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Now there's also stupid experience that happens with some riders who are not mature enough to
What is
understand.
stupid
Yeah,
experience?
So
He get in there.
you have been riding for 10, 15 years and you've never had an accident and you've done a lot of shit on the road and then you cutting your chances
That's why I
closer
have
and closer and
46,
closer.
Roll the dice.
And you're rolling the dice more and more, not understanding, not every day you can come out on the road and pop your throttle or put your foot down on your gas and just fuck lady luck in the ass every single time, not expect to get shit on your dick.
Exactly.
You understand? So
Good analogy there, my friend.
yes, you understand? So you have to understand that sometimes when you have
That analogy will haunt me for a very long time.
no, but when you go through
They say bullet, you know. That's the problem.
but when you go through a lot of things like that, you have experience. Like all of us here have fucked around on the road.
Yes, of
You've learned,
course.
you've
my
understood, you've learned from
fair
your friends' mistakes, from your
See that
mistakes.
there? That's
And
Russo
we
stretch.
get it, but there are some fellas that they're like crash dummies.
With gloves.
They're riding a month, they break something, they out 6 months, they come back again, they're riding a month, they break something else again. I'm like, when are you
You're
gonna
gonna
fucking
get it.
learn?
Yes.
When are you gonna pass down? Like before, there was riding school. How a lot of us learn to ride? Somebody had a bike,
Bike,
and they put you on the
yeah.
bike and they say,
Now there's a riding school.
Right.
Yeah,
Before, you need to do this. You need to do that. But before,
I did it.
all right?
Yeah, yeah.
Before, when you were
Yeah,
younger,
yeah, yeah. 46 years I'm riding, you know.
all right, when you were younger, who taught you to drive
watch
most of
my
the time?
age.
Your father or your uncle?
Go watch my
Or an
age.
older mentor person that gave you the experience that they had and passed it down to
That's
you
right.
before you
Look
got
up
on
back,
the road.
try a thing.
You understand?
Yeah.
Now there are fellas that could be on the back and tell you, "Guys, that's the clutch, that's the brakes, that's the
I
gas.
just go on your business.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Well,
There are riders today I see on the road that don't even understand counter steering.
Yes.
Of course,
Corner,
we
right?
do that.
I see them fighting with the bike all the time. I'm like,
yeah.
if these fellas even understood riding,
Yeah.
the ride would be so smooth.
Smooth.
So I was saying, well, there's an incredible statistic.
And explain that to them too.
I'll explain
no,
to them,
no,
yes,
no.
sir.
Oh, maybe terror.
Yeah,
No, go
there's
ahead.
an incredible statistic that after motorcyclists are some of the most vulnerable people on the road, what percentage of accidents you think they're involved in?
Again?
Okay. What percentage of accidents?
Where you're talking about like in terms of crashing into something or just crashing period?
Yeah.
Motorcycle accidents, just crashing.
What percentage of motorcyclists?
Over all accidents, motor vehicle
Yeah.
accidents, what percentage do you think? They probably make up less than 10% of total vehicles on the road, but what percentage of accidents?
Of the total
About 15%.
20,
27,
25?
Half.
half of it.
Half of all accidents.
Really?
Wait.
That's
No.
worldwide? That's worldwide or St.
Where you get the
Lucia?
stats? In St.
Where do you get
Lucia?
the stats from?
In St. Lucia?
St. Lucia?
Right there in St. Lucia.
So hang on.
I do a lot of
That
reports for
doesn't
insurance
right to me.
to me.
No, you will not handle. You handle bikes. You do bikes
Well,
damage
bikes
report.
crash into cars.
Or you'll do the car part of the
bikes crash into
bike.
cars.
So if you look at
half.
if
That
you
don't,
look
that
at
don't make sense. That don't sound right.
But listen, you'll be surprised if you look at the amount of bikes that being, you could
I
say,
repair cars too.
called
You check it? Yeah,
out
so-
in accidents. You find the problem is the bikes are highlighted more because
Yeah.
I hate to tell it to you
There's a
this,
stigma
not
of it.
necessarily that. You see, a lot of there's this stigma and this reality. A lot of bikers may not be able to say, Gasa, I go fix up your car and you go fix up my bike. So a lot of car people are able to say, Gasa, I go fix up your car for you, based on pocket. Okay, so you find now a bike, you'll be surprised the price of a bike. A bike is
Yes,
very
it's
expensive.
Yeah.
Expensive.
But the person who bought the bike saved all his money because you said something a while ago, or was it Bolo? Yeah, Bolo said it about being seen. So he wants to be seen. Instead of buying a car, he will buy a bike, then he'll buy a calabash helmet because he wants everybody to see him on the bike. And now, now you find like the posy. Now you find he gets into an accident, but his pocket does not have the reach to repair. So his accident gets in the books of the stats more than the accidents from the cars. You understand what I'm saying? And that is a factor. There's a certain business that came out and made it available for persons to own a motorcycle easy.
Yeah.
Which was great, fair and square. Because if you look at different countries, if we look at Taiwan, if we look at Italy, if you look at Martinique, motorcycling is a culture and a way of doing business. In Jamaica, how many of us on that little swing one thing?
Yeah.
You know, it's a taxi service.
In China as well, you cannot,
you
if
go.
you are a physician, you have to have a motorcycle license.
You need to be there quick.
600 cc's in Jamaica.
No.
It's
Well,
150.
no, they have made the changes. If you have a 6, you have it now. You cannot import anything at that level. But if you had it before, then you're good. You have it. But you are correct. But what you find now is the culture of motorcycling in those countries that we spoke of, even Martinique. You can once you insure the bike, it doesn't have to be registered. A kid can go to school with a 50cc.
Yeah.
So the culture in Martinique, when the person who's driving a car sees a motorcycle, is like, boy, let this person pass. In St. Lucia, Kokali. So it's a totally different culture.
I'm happy that you said that, right?
You still need the mic.
I'm happy that you said that.
Oh wow, I like how you said that.
You know?
But why do motorcyclists believe
I love it. I know where you're going. Invincible?
no, they're supposed they was between motorcyclists and pedestrians.
Yes.
I don't know which one it is.
I like that. I like that. You're right.
Why do they So I really want to discuss about pedestrians as well.
Yes.
Hold on. Why do they believe that they're supposed to be in the middle of the lanes?
Okay, so in certain countries, Florida just passed that law.
Yeah, white lining.
Right? So you are able to cut through and hit the front end. St. Lucia, we don't have that law. We obtain, yes, it's a fact. We obtain, we are given and granted the same amount of space as a vehicle. So when I go in a parking lot and they have lines and the line there, I can park in the middle of the line. Nobody can tell me nothing because that is the size of my space that I carry. So the same distances, the freedom that you have on a motorcycle that allows you to do just that is what you can say permits, right? And grants us to, and I say us because I do it, to freely go through.
But not in the event of an accident.
But no, that's a different ball game. You're overtaking. That's a different. Within the law. But let us think about it first from why does it happen? It happens because there's a freedom, a freedom that is, how could I say, not being policed, where people jaywalk. If you don't use the pedestrian crossing, you jaywalk. So you made a point to pedestrians. The same thing with the motorcyclist. You're going through, but you're going through at your risk. So you are creating a factor. Somebody I know once went up the what you call it, John Compton Highway. He had a slipper going back to factors. So you need a proper shoe. So he was going up the highway, and this person decided, what is going on? Why the traffic so? She opened her door and she come outside and she do that. You see the bottom of the door?
Toe. Yeah.
Not his toe. It's exactly what you spoke of.
Yeah.
You see that there, he had what they call the sandals, what is called the Moses sandals. Them remember when Moses sandals got them thing that clack, you tack that with Velcro all around? Made out of Moses sandals on a motorcycle. And I dig her as because it literally just took it off the first layer like a bread.
Yeah,
now
that's what happens.
He is going through the traffic. Now again, as a motorcyclist, who is a driver? We are better drivers. There's nobody who can beat a driver that's a motorcyclist. You see mirrors? You see mirrors? We don't like mirrors like that. We don't like that. Because when you're riding, your perennial vision, must be there. Must be there. I had an accident with a young a child. She was probably 11 at the time. It happened to me on a day with a fifine. That burned me. I went and do something for work. I say every time I gonna do something for the work, I always get myself in problem. Whereby I doing that again. So I'm on the chaussee. Right, and I'm going up. You know where they had Union Bakery? Who remembers Union Bakery in the corner? There's the A-frame thing where the transport fellas are, right? And you have a bus stand in the corner there,
I think that's
just after my face. So you just pass my face.
Yeah.
You have that's Bokash bus stand.
Yeah.
Okay.
That little triangle.
Right. Right there, and then you have Grass Street.
Yeah.
Okay, so just before Grass Street, I'm coming up, and I had a glimpse of a young child holding a man's hand, and within 3 seconds, the child was in my handlebar. So she ran from where the bakery was in the corner by my face there, about to cross to that triangle thing, and ran out behind a 9-seater and just ran straight into my handlebar. Because a fifine, I slow, I going easy, and she just knocked out flat. The first thing I said is, where's the gentleman that's holding a hand? Where's the gentleman? The man said, how you know that child was holding my hand?
Of course.
The child just dropped my hand and run in my brother. But how you know that you just passed there? Perennial vision. When you're on a motorcycle, you have to be. I'm looking here and I can see what's going on there, just out of the glimpse.
How long will that happen, Thorough?
That happened to me. I had a night off. So you're looking at 90, 96.
Night off.
750 night off. I'm riding for 46 years, so I'm telling you.
Right.
Yeah. So, but that there was so scary. And I had the best joke. Her father, God bless him, he's still alive, just came out of prison. And met from Grass Street. The man and I are good friends now, But met from Grass Street. And luckily, you had brothers at the top there. The brothers, sisters saw everything. And they tell him, Awa. I ain't going to call his name, Awa. You can't say nothing. No, his fault. She didn't do that. Ask your partner that was holding his daughter's hand. Now, insurance. You go and you decide you're going to pay for medical. You know what you have just done when you did that?
Well, insurance person
you're
can
wrong.
never do that.
You say you're
Exactly.
right.
that point.
Exactly. So
Another thing about driving, people don't know too. If you hit a pedestrian,
sorry.
If
The
you-
minute you use that word,
yes, if you hit a pedestrian
Admission of guilt.
and you come and
Yes.
apologize to them,
I'm
and
sorry.
they're wrong, eh?
yeah,
They just run a car or they run into your car. And
you accept it.
You go to them and say you're sorry. You
accepting
go to the
liability,
hospital
you accept
Yeah.
guilt.
and help them out and buy the medication and pay for, because you're feeling sorry for them.
That's admission to guilt.
That admission
Yes.
of guilt.
So here I am. My grand aunt, God bless her soul, she died at what, 86, was still alive. Somebody then call the lady and tell the lady, I kill a child. So she was probably in her 70s, close to the 80s or 80 at the time. And the lady then on edge. Another friend of the family passed, boy, I hear you kill a child. I'm like, how we didn't have, that time, I don't even think BB was running, you know what I mean?
No.
But the great
There is a
man,
seizure.
yeah, it was right around that. Yeah, it was, right? Because, let me tell you, and
No,
I
they have
went,
people in the middle.
and I paid for everything. I paid for everything and I took care. But what's here, Carol, do you remember the Rasta living at the bottom of the Calvary, a red Ras? You remember this guy?
In the Bend?
He used to be in the CDC area in the Bend a lot. Remember him? He had a camouflage bike. He had painted camouflage 125. So I want to share a story. You see, us motorcyclists have to be so careful. This guy died on the road and he was right. Right? Where he died at the time, we had creek with 2 lanes. And it was Sultan and them that's had a business right on the edge of the road. If you remember,
I
where
remember
Creek
where.
Funeral
I know
Home
Reno
is.
is now.
Right, where Reno
Yes.
is there,
Yeah.
that road was just a 2-way road, and they had a business,
Remember they used to have a
right, which was owned by the Sultans, right on the edge of the road. And right there, this guy, late night, was heading north on a drunk driver. So when you talk about riding a motorcycle,
I think I saw an
there's
accident.
so many risks. The man was right. He was on his side of the road, going north, The driver was coming down and picked me up head on as a bread,
Now-
We have no barriers. We have nothing,
So-
and this guy was dead right.
Let's
No,
move on
he was
from
dead
that.
too, huh?
As a driver,
So
I actually
anyway,
had 2 accidents like that. Where on my side of the road, somebody lose control of their vehicle and run head on into me. If I was on a bike, guaranteed I'll be dead.
yeah. I will tell you no.
So we're moving on to the swing on the health services, long-term trauma, and you just touch on the financial and emotional toll on that. Because if you tell that story so vividly, it must still be living in your head
My brother,
as a behavior.
I'm an EMT, so safety is part and parcel of my everyday happenings. In my line of work, I deal with trauma in so many different ways if it comes about. And so on the road, safety is paramount. In anything I do, safety is paramount. All right? For me, it's important to always be aware of your exits and everything surrounding you and what's happening. Right? So you saying what you just said there with the vehicle and the incident, and whether it's a bike or a car, there's always going to be a toll. The
Yeah.
family is going to
Yeah.
be heavily impacted.
Because Terrell, at the end of the day, how can you be right and end up dead? At the end of the day, if you're dead, you don't have no right and wrong in
Well,
that.
I want to
It's
say
death
something
sentence.
pertaining to
Civil alone can save you, eh?
the mechanisms of when the accident happens, because people believe that once you get into an accident and you're severely injured, an ambulance is on the way. Unfortunately, in St. Lucia, that is not always the case.
Yeah.
Okay? There are limited resources, not to mention that sometimes due to maintenance issues, some of the various ambulance facilities and the ambulances themselves break down. So when you think that, let's say...
Desmond, I would object. I'll tell you personally, I know the information. Grosley has 2 units. Polyclinic has 2.
No,
I'm telling you.
but I work at the polyclinic. It doesn't have to.
The what you call it, the Red Cross ambulance and the smaller one that does be there.
Right. So they borrow an ambulance from the Red Cross.
But it's
they
there.
no, it's not always there, and that's the point I'm making. But anyways, just hear me out,
Yeah.
right? The point I'm making is that there are times when if the ambulance has to respond,
Respond to something else. Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That is
So,
that
so
I understand.
what happens now is that there is a latency, there is a wait time. So And I'm saying this particularly to the riders because they are normally the ones that are more severely injured in accidents, even if it's a more of a mild accident, right?
Yes.
Carol was speaking on something about mentorship. And he made a very strong point about the fact that a lot of guys, they are taught the very basics, and once they can balance a bike and go, they go. Just over there on the chaussee, every time someone is crossing the road, they have to make sure that they look to see if a motorcycle is coming. Because what happens is that the guys, because the way a motorcycle works is that the faster you go, the more stable it is in terms of staying upright. The wheels are like a gyroscope. The faster they turn, the more steady the bike remains. The slower you go, guess what? You get a little bit wobbly.
Stable, yeah.
So a lot of these guys, when I learned how to ride, the first thing they teach you in riding school is how to ride dead slow, and that's the most uncomfortable thing. You'll bust a sweat. Not really. Riding at 5 miles an hour, because now.
And just let me break it to that point too. When people see fellas wheeling, like wheeling bike,
yeah,
when I wheeling high speaker wheelie, you know.
Okay.
You see, when I wheeling real slow.
Okay.
Like,
that's
So you see, so he's strengthening my point.
Yeah.
So what happens is that with these guys, they generally speaking don't want to come to a stop and move off again. Okay? So that is why a lot of the times a vehicle will stop to allow someone to cross the road. The person has to look around the vehicle for fear that they may get picked up by a motorcycle.
Or a bicycle.
Or a bicycle.
Yeah.
But the bicycles are not as bad. Because,
I like you a lot, you know.
Yeah. But the point I'm making is that
There was a time bicycle used to be bad, like maybe like in the 90s.
in the 90s,
Yeah, bicycle used to, yeah.
You have to have a number plate on your bicycle.
I picked up somebody on a biking tongue once.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to talk about that. So, the point I'm making is that because a lot of these guys are not formally trained on how to manage the motorcycle, that too can lead to their reckless behavior. Because if I'm riding, let's say there's traffic, I cruise past the traffic.
Yes.
A number of accidents happen with motorcycles by T-boarding cars that are coming out of gaps because a vehicle stop to either let someone cross the road
Yes.
or to come out of a gap. And guess what happens? As soon as the car pokes its head,
There is
they run to the side of it.
There's
Because
a
you know what
survey
happens?
on that.
I always tell people,
Like a magazine.
speed is not always inherently dangerous. For instance, if you're overtaking, do you want to linger alongside the vehicle that you're overtaking? Of course not.
No, hell no.
You want to get around the vehicle. However, if you already have the advantage in terms of the speed with the bike, the traffic is at a dead stop, you're still in motion. That means you're getting somewhere. At least people are stuck in traffic. At least you're moving.
Just take your time and get there, right?
So what happens is that there was an accident like that recently for Carnival in Union. A car was poking its head out, and the guys were on a red motorcycle, and they impacted.
That was the accident in Union that had the traffic backed
Yes,
up.
my buddy saw the accident. He said that the car was trying to come out into the traffic, and the guys ended up running into the car, and the guys got ejected from the motorcycle.
Of course, because the bike was stopped
So
and they
what
were-
happens is that where the guys decide to exercise the speed. Because at the end of the day, like I said in my point earlier on, if you're rounding a blind corner and you're leaning, that means your bike is taking up more space. Because now your bike is no longer upright where it's at its narrowest. So now you're lessening your margin of error. But guess what? The price you pay is much higher than in a car. So
Yes.
you are lessening your margin of error and you are increasing the danger level on something that you already don't have much margin of error on.
So now, hold on, fellas,
Hold on.
we there running our
He
mouth.
has something to say.
We there running our mouth, and we have two ladies on the panel that should be giving us some insight on the
viewpoint.
emotional toll of motorcycle riders.
First
So
of all,
I just free ladies.
Gosh.
Okay, you have the
His peripheral vision not good.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy.
I was wondering which one are y'all?
Yeah, boy.
No, but I noticed these two in black. They're already wearing their funeral colors. So here's the scenario.
Now I go rebuke you about the funeral color thing, you know. Anyway.
So here is the scenario. Your boyfriend just come and tell you, boy, I just buy a bike there. Oh, your boyfriend is a rider and you just doing your Hail Marys. How would you process that?
I would hear that for sure. But you don't have boyfriend?
Before you answer, let me
You don't have boyfriend?
Let me tell you my
That's
advice.
why you buy a bike?
My advice I give everybody I know I want to buy a bike, my partners.
I'll buy a bike.
Don't tell your mother, don't tell your woman.
Well, Bolo, I'm the I tell them to buy. I'll be honest. Anybody, I tell them to buy a bike. Yeah, don't buy a bike.
Vehicles, the tire thing, that is what I will put on your bike.
What you put
You're
on?
small already and broke your foot.
you
And
just
you want
have
to
to-
go back and buy an next day.
The man will wake up with the tire slash. I don't know how that reached.
I didn't even know that
You see, now this is what I believe is a problem. The mindset of St. Lucians, and I use this analogy. Yeah, you have 3 dogs. You have a German Shepherd, you have a Doberman, and you have a Pit Bull. Which dog do you believe everybody is going to be fearful of?
The pit bull.
Pit Bull, because there is a persona. Exactly.
A stigma.
But at the end of the day, you have to realize that not every dog that is of that breed has the nature in which the dogs have been portrayed. So the same thing goes for the bikes. That's why early on I started and I said, you can have a 1300cc motorcycle. Okay, you can have a 900, you can have a 1400, you can have a 50.
That's very big engines for motorcycles,
At 5 miles an hour, is 5 miles an hour you're going. A motorcycle is as fast as you ride it. So the discipline, going back to what Carol was saying earlier on concerning how we were taught and what is there to teach you now. The discipline is what you need. So persons, I'm certain if I bring you for a ride on the bike, we having a conversation from here to Grosley, you asking me to come and give you a ride again. I guarantee you that.
Let's hear it, Lily.
We touched on no, because the debate was that.
Yeah.
You say you're slashing tire, you know.
Yeah, because that was
That's me. That's me. I personally, hold on.
Go ahead.
I personally don't like motorcycles. Right?
Why?
It really depends on the person. If one everybody done ready to jump down my throat.
Well, you're dealing with bikers.
I know. So it really depends on who is riding the bike.
Thank
Again, it really depends on the mentorship, skill, and
I was watching you. I was watching you.
learning how to ride the bike and being responsible on the road.
Roger that.
You see them bike men who's been here in your neighborhood and just making a certain noise.
Right.
Bolo like me, is not there.
No.
You're right, but look at the young guys who got themselves in problem. The little video with the police that created a meme and going. Why do you think they stopped them? Because the police were going slow in an area, whatever they were doing, surveillance, and the fellas behind them, hurry up. What the bike said? Hurry up.
Exactly.
Hurry up. I want to go. I want to go. Hurry up. For what?
Yes.
That point
for what?
My little partners, you know.
There are people who give you all a bad name.
Exactly.
So you don't like
So when are you gonna take a ride on the bike?
them kind of thing?
No.
The revenue bike, them kind of thing.
No.
Yeah, I know. So listen, I go to my daughter's school. I bring my daughter to school every Friday on my motorcycle. Every Friday. From Grosley, right? From Casaba to Denpolet every Friday. That's her high. I pick her up and I bring her back home. She has a helmet, everything.
I used to bring mine.
I'm telling you.
She got shy.
But
The amount
She got shy.
yeah.
The amount of time you see young girls in the back with a little dress,
I
no
yeah.
helmet
But
on,
that's
they up in the back and they
No, I agree. It's a look and a feel. But you know that the thing, what has come into Ebola, was the fact that when I get to the school, you know what all the children want me to do?
Rev the bike.
Rev the bike. Rev the bike. And revving the bike is not healthy for the bike.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Just like pops and bun, it's not healthy.
Yeah.
Now, I don't like, man. Recently, I get to rev the little ZX6R and boy,
Okay, confession.
The bike you don't have.
I'll drink my Wasco
The bike you do not own. Okay, just making sure.
boy, that touch a little 8,000. That's how it's so nice, boy.
But that is the other thing that goes with the discipline of being a rider and being a sports car driver. The
And I want to get to sports car story.
of the noise
Because we need-
and the adrenaline, you get
ties
there.
to it.
It entices you, but
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you have to be responsible to understand when you can and when you
Yes.
can't.
Of course.
And you have sometimes you get caught up in that.
Yes.
And we all know back in the day, we've made
Carol.
mistakes, we've done different things, right? But there are times
Carol.
you in the heat and your car sounded good, your bike sounded good, and you lose focus.
To go back,
That's what you know.
to go back to the
it's
impact. I have
What impact?
the impact that it has on the health services.
okay.
So
Yes.
for me,
Don't forget where we were.
and
Right, but the accident, the impact, I like.
and just to like a friend of mine, he owned a business and he had an employee who rode and he seen boy every month that man have on sick leave. every month I'm on sick leave. You understand?
Really?
So that's an impact
On the business.
You understand?
There's a law for that.
I own my own business and I ride every day. I can't afford to be on hospital the
You
bed.
can't afford to fall.
And you
I
have,
can't afford
and
to
remember,
fall.
you have two lovely daughters like watching growing up there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what I practice every day is that, and in cars too, it's not something I just didn't do on bikes. Yeah. When I bought that last bike, my approach was different.
That's a BMW?
Yeah.
Okay.
But same as Terrell say, when I drive, when I ride, I know everything around me. I would drive for the person behind me.
And 2 cars ahead.
Yeah.
And for the person that don't recognize exactly how fast you're coming on this.
Yes, and people ahead. So people opening a door. If I go into through traffic, white lining,
Yeah.
I waiting for somebody to open the door.
Yes. Or somebody to
You understand? I waiting for somebody to cut across me.
Yes.
I waiting for somebody to push me up. And
Anticipating.
that happens to me every day.
Yes, it
and
does.
I never stop. And because what you do? No.
Yeah.
No, but you know your position.
When somebody does that, like maybe cut across me, almost throw me down, almost pick me up.
Yeah, you predicted that already.
I predicted that already. I saw it coming and see me then. So what I do, I say personally, it didn't happen. I avoided it because I was waiting for it. They waiting for me to go to them. I just ride out.
Yeah.
You understand? I just ride off.
Yeah. No,
All right.
no, you never see a driver slowing down in the middle because he's making somebody cross. You know,
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Talk to my brother.
So the other thing
and
too,
they're surprised.
bikers would
I
bikers
appreciate it when shit like that
I
happens.
never see that ever happen.
bikers would approach, let's say, a minibus. Another thing you have to be careful of a minibus.
Always
A
going to
minibus
stop.
would always stop.
Always
and
going
then
to
the passenger put down.
Yeah, run in the front.
Cross in front. You
Always
understand?
gonna stop.
Once you see a minibus stop, beware. There could be something in traffic. Beware.
Now, you know,
Slow down.
you see
Yeah.
Indicators.
that remind me of the tragic accident that happened around
Mix up.
that make them that make them put the speed bumps.
Yeah.
The British airline air hostess. That's exactly
She
what
just
the guy
crossed
did. The guy
the-
just walked straight into the road into oncoming vehicle.
It happened,
Anyhow,
and for drivers too. That happened in Bexar once. A guy put down a child on a bus.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes, and the child is
that's real sad.
Yeah.
That's real sad.
Once you see a bus riding or driving,
Yes,
you come over, take it,
immediately put us slow.
slow down. And a lot of the drivers these days, they have a thing, a lot of the new drivers, that I have the right of way.
Yes. I find
I
it
have the right of way
It
mentality.
goes back to the
Have a right of way
French, it goes back to the
mentality.
French thing I was telling you.
Okay.
In Martinique, you see a bike, let him pass. Send Lucia
We,
Casa. Where you going?
we were not so terrible. We were not so.
I'm telling you, that's how we are.
Growing up driving, I never knew about I have the right of way. If I see
Yeah,
two
but that's
cars
why-
parked,
yeah.
two cars parked on a man's side and he coming up, I would stop to allow him
Yes.
to come through.
Yeah.
That's how I grew up
Yeah.
driving. But
Ascending, descending.
right now, you
Yes,
see
going up the hill have the right.
Right now,
They don't
you
respect
ascending
that.
vehicles have the right of way.
Yes,
Right
they
now,
don't- they don't respect that
you would
these days.
see, let's say, 10 vehicles parked on that side, and a man coming up. Is your side, eh?
Boy, they
You
will
coming
rush down on you.
10 vehicles parked, and you overtaking them because you know you get a spot. But I just happen to be coming. You on the 8th vehicle.
You have
The
to-
asshole just coming down on you.
Yeah.
I have the right of way. Where you going?
Yep.
So, you know what?
Like, it's just stupidity.
I'll ask a question.
You
I'll
call
ask a
that
question.
again
Hold on, yeah.
defensive drive.
Yes.
No, as you mentioned about defensive driving,
And just
could we
now,
say that our
just
boss to
now,
them
just
kind
now.
of situations?
Just now, Desmond.
Yeah.
And the thing that hurt me about that
Oh,
is
boy.
that
You
the right of way drivers have vexed that when they feel they have the right of way, they rather knock you,
Yeah.
get into an accident,
Yeah.
stand up, wait for police,
Course.
then go through insurance and all
Course.
kind of things just to prove you have a
Course.
fucking right of
That's
way.
the automatic license aptitude, my brother. That's what that is.
Give me a touch on that. Give me a touch on that.
You're right of way driver, and that's the problem.
That's why if you have the perfect.
Give me a touch on that.
Can I just balance for me? I want to make sure I muted some of the crosstalk. Alright? So, what you're saying there, I agree 100%. Now, I want to get some nuances based on the factors around what he suggested around the impact on the health.
That's it. Yes, so
Right? So, we have some of the panel who have not really engaged in some of that discussion.
the health,
Want to get that
yeah,
coming
yeah.
back.
Well, for me, as I said, the main thing is that I can't be down. And if you have an employee,
Yeah.
who rides, you don't need to be down. So you have to ride safely. Know your surroundings, know who's in front, who's behind, expect the unexpected. See if a man going to turn a corner,
Live to ride,
he,
ride to live.
he gonna turn.
And
You
David
you can see his movements and see boy. That man indicate, but that man go turn. You know. You check it. You riding and driving. You have to be because you can't afford to be down. You can't be afford to be in a hospital. You can't afford to be your vehicle down when you don't have no transportation. You know, think about these factors.
Nice.
All right. So
Before you enter in an accident.
All right, so let's hear from our.
I want some feedback from you regarding that very question on the health factor. So, the impact of the implications of accident.
Shoot.
Oh yeah, we was in shooting that day.
Okay. No, I think I have it. This is fine?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. Well, I cannot, as far as the impact on the health aspect, you might be in a better position than I am. But when I was a reporter, journalist, obviously I would from time to time have to go to families
Yes.
who had loved ones who
Perished.
just ended up, some of them perished, some of them in hospital,
Badly wounded.
about to perish. But let me pause here. And before I became a journalist, I'll never forget the very first horrific motorcycle accident that I'd ever
Oh, don't go
heard of.
there. Don't go there.
Yes,
Easter.
I'm gonna go there. Some of us might be too young to remember, but this was in the time of
Yeah, I remember that.
chain
one.
emails,
Yeah, I remember that. one.
right? This accident took place on
Monjuro?
the Monjuro
Yeah.
Highway
Easter.
there.
Yeah, I remember
I
that.
was
What was the
I
shooting?
knew him.
Kenny?
I was a young
Yeah,
boy, but I
Kenny.
knew him. Rest in peace, Mr. Foster. Right?
Yeah.
He at the time was traveling, I think, along the Monjuro roadway there in
Southbound.
Yeah.
Southbound.
Okay, he was going southbound. He had a pillion rider. The reason why that story touched me, the pillion rider, a female, we were both in confirmation classes at
Right.
the same time.
Ah,
We were the
right.
same age. We confirmed
Yes,
together,
yes.
so I know her, right? And you know that's time of Hotmail.
Yeah.
and,
MSN message.
That's how I got the pictures as well.
Right, and
That was time of BlackBerry
that's how-
also.
that's before BlackBerry.
That was before BlackBerry.
That's how
That
you
was
got
before-
the
that was a
latest, the latest happenings in the
Yeah.
country, whether gossip,
Yeah.
whether whatever. That's what I'll never forget. Opening up my Hotmail, right? Because everyone was talking about it. I never seen like.
I think I still have that in my emails. Eh?
Yeah, that was one of the most graphic accidents.
Open that, and it's pictures of a man still alive, R.I.P. Without he's missing his foot from the knee
His
down.
foot alone?
That's
Okay.
what I remember.
Yeah, it was
missing
the
his
next-
foot from
missing
the
his
knee
next level.
down.
Yeah, more than that.
Right?
Yeah.
And so many different
The chick was
pictures
It's split in half.
capturing the last moments of this man's life
Yeah.
on the hot asphalt. It was a Sunday, I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
That's
It
what
was, to me, it was an early morning accident.
It was early morning.
Yeah, wee hours.
So in the
Yeah,
Sunday
everybody
morning,
in
from
charge
where
coming
they came
from.
from,
Right.
Yeah.
right? And I think I
It's
saw
Sunday.
one picture. I don't remember seeing many pictures of the pillion rider, but there was one picture of the pillion rider just.
Bust in half.
Yeah, it
Boy.
wasn't pretty.
Well,
It wasn't.
thanks
But
for
there were a lot of circumstances around that I'm not hearing you mention.
So that was my first,
Yeah.
or the most memorable accident.
There was
Motorcycle
a guy
accident.
coming around the corner.
And you stayed with you for all these
That
years.
stayed with me.
And the guy was overtaking.
Yeah,
The guy was
and
overtaking.
they had a vehicle, I think it was a wagon full of speakers.
Yes.
Yeah.
In
I
that
think the guy
one.
was carrying.
I remember
All the
three
speakers
people
just
died
go
in that
forward
His name
and
was Kerry.
crush everybody in that vehicle.
And the
Eh?
young lady.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but the young lady, I mean, it touched me because the young lady, like I said, we were in confirmation classes together.
Yes,
we,
yes,
you
by
know,
all means.
and she never made it. And
By all means, my brother.
so fast forward, yes, I eventually became a journalist, and from time to time I would visit these family members, and boy, I don't know, the pattern was always the same: no insurance, right? No means of dealing with the expenses
Definitely.
from these.
So the family
accidents.
gets no compensation.
Yeah.
So my job was to just
If he's the cause,
listen
I
to
don't
their
know.
story,
Yeah.
and the stories are all the same. You know,
Especially if he's a
when it comes
breadwinner.
to when it comes to the motorcycle riders in particular, the one refrain from most, not all, but most of the households, the victims, I tired of telling you
Yeah,
that bike
yeah,
alone.
yes,
I
yes,
tired of
yes,
telling you
yes.
that bike alone.
The old folks. Bet I kill you.
I always get that. I always get that. They talking to you about that bike. They talking to you. You're not hanging, not hanging, not hanging.
I think they should.
Well, my
I
boss,
think it's a
even a
mentality.
broken clock, right, twice a day, you know.
I have to say something, I think it's the mentality that they have to live. alone, not the bike itself. Because
maybe.
there are so many irresponsible. I mean, I'm sitting next to one. I consider myself to be a responsible rider. There are so many responsible riders, and like we were talking about before the podcast started, that a gun can be used to kill or protect.
Yeah.
It's who is wielding it.
But to me, it's still killing you.
Well, yeah, but let's be honest now. If you know how to manage your machine, Terrell touched on maintenance. You know how to maintain your machine. I touched on gear. You are, well geared up and stuff like that. You lower your chances greatly, not only to yourself but to other people on the road, pedestrians, children, hitting vehicles.
That's
these
the
sorts of
factors.
things. And I would like. There's always the odd oil that falls on the road, and you might still fall.
So I would like to allude to something as we're saying. You have to look at the mentality of the person who buy gear versus the mentality of the person who in their slippers and on their vest and on their little short pants.
So let me interject. You see me right here? All 36 years I tell you I'm riding. I see many people come, many go. When I go on a ride, always my short pants. I cannot ride with
exhaust ever burn you?
Yeah, I've gotten that once.
Okay. I almost get burned by one.
Always my short pants because I feel
that's a common injury for short pants riders. The exhaust always burn them on the car.
That was once a long time ago.
Exhaust runs a couple hundred degrees Celsius. Just so you all know.
At the end of the day, I feel uncomfortable with long pants. I wear short pants all the time. But also, going back to the point you made concerning the medical side, you have to now be understanding, because even if your bike is well maintained, even if your bike you have all the gear, and you don't understand that, hey, that's a fifine, you don't understand that, hey, there's gravel coming, or don't take that corner that way because there's a chance a car might stop just round the corner. You come into this is what you call it, a M plate. It can stop anytime. These are the factors. Factors for me. When you understand factors that add up and create the link it's creating is to the accident. The more you can minimize factors, the higher chance of you riding safer. Put it this way, butt naked if you want to call it that. But you as a rider, going back to what you said, Desmond, the mental. You see, mentally you must be prepared to take on. Anybody will ask me and tell me they're buying a bike in St. Lucia right now, I'll tell them don't buy a bike.
Well, clearly there's a deficiency.
You know, back to when I would have to speak to the mothers and the girlfriends.
Yeah.
And some of these guys, some of them didn't ride 600 cc's. Some of them rode 125.
Yes.
Right?
A lot of them.
And what you're speaking of, that was the last thing on their minds.
Very much.
A motorcycle, in some cases, was just transportation. And in a few of the other cases was transport, but
a vibe.
Yes,
a vibe.
You think it's
an extension of their personality.
Yes, so on. Freedom. The freedom it comes with that.
If my memory is not betraying me, some of these accidents would have happened maybe either before or after some social event that they were attending and so on. And no helmets. The motorcycle in question didn't have enough, or is not uninsured, and question marks around the driver's license or the riding.
Yes.
The
credentials
most of the time.
Yeah.
So yes, you guys, that's the good talk.
So he shouldn't have been on that bike.
Motorcycle community in St. Either they're non-compliant and they do not consider a lot of the.
So let me give the police a call. Right, so you see the police officers who are the custodians of the law, conducting traffic. St. Lucia is a small place, so we know everybody. But at the end of the day, you're telling me, I know you riding your bike. I'll stop you and tell you, I say, Bolo, look, I doing my traffic, you don't have your helmet, and I don't want to ticket you, but you're making me look bad. We don't get that. The police are, hey, all right. Now I give them a lot of stick, and trust me, I work with them. Okay, but if the police, and why I say that, remember St. Lucia had a seatbelt issue? Can you recall what happened? Yes, we had a seatbelt issue. It is better now. It is better now. Going back to when you had a police on a bike named Robocop.
Oh yes.
All right. Police were giving tickets. To this day still, anywhere they have a roadblock, as much as we may be driving towards the roadblock without our seatbelt, the first thing we pull when we see the roadblock is the seatbelt. Because The police had a crackdown. If the police take a position with helmets,
they did.
You understand? And start. No, my brother, I'm telling you, come Grosley. Come and stand up Grosley in that junction there and see how many fellas on scooters in the Grosley community that are zooming.
I find for
It has-
now, maybe in the last couple of years it's gone on a little bit, but
Of
before-
recent, I agree with you.
But before, Gerald, they have a lot more fellas riding with helmet than
Now, hear that. The police just start. You hear how many
there are a lot
guns
more
they
fellas
got and how many tickets they give.
Yeah.
Now the police
There are a lot
have
more
started
fellas riding.
again with
But
the roadblocks. So now nobody here want to stop. Want to be stopped.
Hey, hold on. We have somebody holding a mic and the mic is breaking out. Let's hear from a lovely female panelist. Sorry for so long.
Tell us.
I forget about it with that. But the topic is going beautifully, so that's fine. So in St. Lucia, we know that we have to drive for ourselves, other road users, and potholes. Right?
Yeah. She's going somewhere.
Right? We are, as much as they are,
yes, of course.
as much as we are speaking on motorcyclists, etc., I also want to take some time to speak on other motorists, other vehicle
Yes,
users,
yes,
right?
yes.
Because tonight's topic is road safety.
Yeah.
And I feel like we
carried away in motorcycling.
that's fine because you know what? You all have given us some knowledge and some insight on how we can protect even me with my training wheel on the motorbike. I know how to protect myself from accidents on the motorbike, right? But I want to get into motorists because we have a lot of vehicular accidents. It has increased year by year. It's increasing. So something is going wrong. Something is happening. And I don't even want to say it's the potholes only because as Riani said, that we are, increasing or fixing the repairs on road construction. Significantly, right? So I want to get into the nitty-gritty of vehicular accidents, motors on the road.
Most solution drivers cannot drive.
Well, that is true. And I also feel like
I'll make a strong point on that one. I know what I'm talking about.
I also feel like it stems from the driving schools as well. I feel like a lot of persons who get passed through with their license, they're not prepared to be on the road. Right now, our defensive driving classes are now online. I personally can speak on logging into Zoom and
not zooming at all.
Zoom is zooming, but
it's cooking.
K is K. You understand?
You're doing your breeds, you're doing something, okay.
How many
around the roundabout? 6 years.
They carry you around
driver's
the roundabout for the
license,
business.
right? So that will show you how long they've implemented defensive classes online.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm saying that I'm not
Yes.
new to driving.
Roger
right? So I really want to focus on that. We recently had an accident in Ansari where the guy went off.
Yeah, we saw that.
That's one.
That was a Honda Fit, I think. A Honda Fit was. Aqua. Okay, right.
We are also not paying attention to sometimes we come from functions and persons are tired and they're intoxicated. And this can also lead to several vehicular accidents that we are experiencing. So let's just get into the nitty-gritty of vehicular accidents and just step away a little bit from motorcycles.
So for me, two things there too. I just wanted to touch on the effect that has the accidents have, and again to the motor vehicles. But a lot of things people don't realize that what Rihanna said about the girl who was in confirmation with him and he remembers her. There's a lot of trauma through the accident. For him, he remembered her. And imagine for
residual
me,
trauma.
There was maybe 2 accidents when I was younger. If I hear a song, I remember my father had a friend who was a pilot. I grew up around cars, my father had a garage. And he had a friend who died, he was a pilot. But he used to race cars on the VG stretch and thing. And every time I hear a certain song, he died in a plane crash. I think so, yeah. He died in a plane crash. But every time I hear a certain song, I remember him. And Elton John song, I just remember him. there
One
was.
day was
Pull that up.
He was Rocket Man.
I can't remember the record, but anyways, where you
Yes,
pull up
yes.
the song?
Don't give him much material.
There's a guy from Marshall by my father garage. Used to ride with he bought a bike from Wayne, and he had an old pole. Colin.
Oh, you're talking about that accident?
Used to work cable and wireless.
And he gone straight in the fence by.
I was a little boy. I might have been maybe about
that is,
7, 8 years old. I can never forget him. I just forget his name. But a Feskin fella, yes. Yes, from Enjipo. So he bought the bike, I feel, the Friday. And
Rental pole, right?
No. That's not a Feskin fella. That is Bronx skin guy, guys. It was a street, a kind of cruiser style bike. And the people in Marshall would tell you that those that remember it, who was in Entrepot,
so you
was
know what,
hearing that
so you
bike.
know I was that night. I was at my grandfather's house.
Right.
He crashed in the corner.
Lower Coral
No,
Street.
he crashed straight in the.
We had the credit union at the end of Chaussee.
Yeah, right there in the burglar bars, and the bike went straight up
in the air.
inside of the
So I'll
thing.
tell you something. That's my first cousin.
Right?
That's your first cousin?
Yeah. What's that? Victory.
Martha Phillips.
Boy, that's like
Victory,
something.
that's Victory.
His father was a guy, they call him Gitz Nathan Phillips. That's
Yeah,
that
that's
was my first cousin.
Victory.
Yeah.
Victory.
I can never forget that.
Yeah.
So you see it.
My aunt never returned from that.
No, now mind you, how many times they went up and down the chaussee?
A lot.
Yeah, they say they were racing.
So you see what happened? They were going up and down the chaussee, and
Yes. No, but at the same time, too, what I'm saying to you, the
they never
trauma.
take the corner.
The trauma.
Yeah.
It
That's
has.
my motorcycle.
So imagine that your family member, your father, your brother, your sister, and you are that breadwinner.
Trickle down.
And when you're on the road, you have to think of that if you die, what you want to leave behind. You want to leave behind your daughter, your son, your girlfriend with that trauma. I remember a friend of mine, I won't mention his name, his brother died on his bike. And about a couple of years ago, he told me like sometimes when he sees his brother's girlfriend, like they told him like almost like just shake their head and just walk away. No words.
Yeah. You don't have to.
Yeah, no words. They just shake their head and just walk away.
But
something also.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's common knowledge. We are underinsured as a population. So aside from the motorcycles not being insured, or the motor vehicles, but if we're talking about motorcycles, the individuals, the victims, the actual victims are also
Your medical insurance, your life insurance. But that's why,
don't have any life insurance.
Rihanna, that's why I spoke about the issue with the
That's
stats.
why I was doing fundraisers.
Why the stats are more on the bike side than the car side, because you
going
can't
back,
afford to
going
pay.
back to the going back.
Yeah, man.
Going back to the cars. For instance, you brought up the accident with the guy who went off the cliff. For me, when I was in my younger days, like maybe until 30, it would baffle me like how a man fall asleep on the road. How a man fall asleep on the road? Yeah, and I'm a little older.
You say younger days, so I
Yeah. And I'm younger than you, much younger than you. I remember when I was in Cumbria and Terrell back with his bike. You understand?
Well done.
So I'm much younger than you.
I'll excuse myself. But I want to.
So, for instance, for me now, I as a man, I like to lime a lot. On a regular night, I would maybe be south or anywhere.
But always on the road for you.
And always. And coming back before, for me, it was easier. But these days that I'd find maybe I call out my friends and we talking, maybe we have a few, I'd watch my liquor, come to the road, I wouldn't drink excessively, I'd hit a hangover. So I'd never drink excessively.
Yeah,
I can't
the next day.
These are the factors.
And I have to work the next day.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. So if I coming up the road, let's say I come from Chaussee, like I'm from Vieux-Fort, Soufrière, and I feel like sleepy, now I would pull off the road.
Yeah, you manage yourself.
I'd pull off the road and take a little 5, take a little 10.
That's the discipline.
Come back again.
That's the discipline.
Now,
but I want to go on her
because
question she had there.
just now, I remember like my father used to fix a taxi driver car, Alfred. And Alfred used to tell me that, and a couple times he fixed his vehicle and he'd fall asleep, and he used to tell me that sometimes he'd fall asleep coming from Vieux-Fort. But he reach home as we sleep. You sleep walking, you sleep driving.
That was when that's perfect. You lead me to my point with her question.
Not recommending anybody sleep driving.
Your question about the cars and the accidents. How many cars are coming into St. Lucia every month?
Oh, that's
Maybe
a
about-
very good question.
How much?
1,500, 1,000.
Okay, so
That many?
minimum per fortnight
Depends
from
on the
my
month.
on the
Depends on the month.
yeah is 400 minimum.
Yeah.
400 when you
400, okay, that's
the-
good enough.
400 cars not leaving the road
Right.
every
so,
month.
So here you go.
Yeah.
So when now you're going to the question you are asking concerning the rate of which we are seeing the problem. When we move from having a tutorial that you can speak to someone, you can express, you can bring to light a situation, you can give scenarios, and we now move to A, B, C, D, all of the above, as a way of dealing with the system.
Yeah.
You have now taken out the ability to teach.
An oral.
You understand? Because you can no longer touch that person. Because what if the person, my daughter just downloaded the thing, take a picture of the book and the whole phone reading it there. And I'm like,
But there
wow.
are something.
So where's the learning?
But where did the demand for these cars come from? Because I believe that we got a stark spike in demand for vehicles when they introduced the automatic license.
No, yes.
You have more.
Yes, but
You have
the
more
banks,
people.
the banks,
You have
the banks,
Catch me on that.
the
You have
banks.
hold on.
One at a time.
Yeah.
The influx of the vehicles are as a direct result, in my opinion, because of it's easier now
To get your license.
load.
But the banks,
No, your license.
the banks,
The license.
the banks.
The bank.
That's not, no.
Hear my point.
Hold on. Everybody hold on.
Hear me out.
Alright, let's
Calm it down.
That is a fact.
Let's say Desmond's point.
Okay, hear me out. Why would you take a loan for a vehicle and you're not licensed to drive it?
because I can. I have the access to the capital.
Desmond, I would like to say I had a loan for a vehicle before I had a license.
You are one of few.
Alright, so let's represent that point. Let's get a complete thought around the subject matter, and then we'll expand on it. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can continue? Okay. All right. So what I'm saying is that obviously if you have more people acquiring their license at an average of a lower skill set, because let's be honest now, to properly manage a manual transmission vehicle, it requires a more elaborate skill set.
Yeah.
Okay. There was a study conducted recently pertaining to driving manual vehicles in relation to Alzheimer's in older people. And they said that since it is more mentally engaging, they have a much reduced propensity to get Alzheimer's just from driving a manual vehicle, manual engagement. Because even when you're in traffic, you just have to be easing on your clutch, making sure that the vehicle is rolling forward and these sorts of things. So what you find is this, I use the analogy, well, since I'm with Ministry of Health, I use this analogy. Would you trust a doctor that passed an easy exam to become a physician, or a doctor that passed one of the hardest exams to treat you for a problem?
They pass me the hard exam.
No. Answer the question. Don't shift the goalpost. Answer the question. Who would you trust? Okay. When you have somebody who, listen, I always tell people an exception does not dictate a rule.
This is
There will be people who do have automatic licenses that are exceptional drivers.
Guilty.
I am just saying that.
that is not the exception. Everybody think they can drive better than they really can.
But what I'm saying is that the likelihood increases when you have people entering the road that have passed a much easier examination. Okay? The other thing too is this: you have a free hand. You don't have to shift gears. So what you find?
They're on the phone.
That's when I use that hand to touch my girlfriend.
Or the dead.
We're not going to go there. But the point I'm making is that
distracted.
the point I'm making is that since the driving is not focused solely on the driving, it leaves room for distraction. Can an argument not be made that St. Lucians are generally in modern times very distracted drivers? Especially look at the nature of the types of fender benders that they have.
That is a trend.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yes.
I think you need to broaden the scope, because by nature of what motor vehicles are like now, automatic driving is
the in thing.
Is the thing. And not just automatic driving to the point whereby you have self-driving vehicles. So we have to look at it from that standpoint.
Right. So can I jump in now? A
yes,
couple of things. Terrell and this guy over alluded to a very good point. The financial systems definitely get more towards pumping vehicle loans out.
Easy.
On the road.
100%.
Number two is not just the automatic license. Like in my pickup, I cannot even turn up the volume on the stereo without looking at the screen. You have the screen right there. apart from the girl like next to me. So what happened that vehicle in drive?
You don't have to
That's a
worry
wrong
about
knob,
it
listen.
again. You don't
That's a
have to
wrong
worry
knob.
about it again.
Yeah, they make it so,
So
easy
just
for
in
you to
between
take
that
your
and that,
eyes.
what time does what you run?
What time I was watching the road?
Yeah, between
You're right, in between doing that.
All right, you know what? That's one other show.
But I don't really do these things, you know. That's why. Desmond, my last accident. That's why I say big up to pick up people. It felt like a speed bump.
Yeah.
The guy was receiving.
So just you pass over the guy.
Yo,
Yeah, almost
let me
got
tell you.
Pass over the fella.
I could remember all my incidents.
Right.
Incidents. I said incidents. Maybe about 3 or 4. Maybe about 3 or 4. The worst one was actually the first one. Then they have the guy that wrote me off when he fell asleep behind the wheel in my Honda Civic. Then I remember a time I drowned the ATV with my daughter behind me in a river.
Okay. Oh, the pickup truck accident. The pickup truck you were saying.
That was just an incident.
Hold on 1 second.
So my first major accident, I was getting a ride. I was at Safa at the time, coming from school. I was out by the main road hiking a ride, and a man gave me a ride in a. That was like an Evo.
Why are you looking at me?
Yeah, boy. And
Fun.
we
Just
went
in.
down the morning. He decided to go down Latok Road, and
The scenic route.
and that corner right before, I forget the name of that place. I think it's Oceana. They used to call that.
Right. Yeah.
Right before that, boy.
Oh, that sharp
The
corner.
nice bend corner, boy. Hairpin, eh?
Mid come down the hill. I don't know I don't know if because I was on the vehicle, the man
Yeah.
decided he wanted to shoot.
You had to prove.
Like, boy, the vehicle never made it around the corner. It goes straight off the precipice,
Oh my
about
goodness.
300 feet down. And
Wait. You were in the vehicle?
Right? And you almost died.
and I almost died.
So was he driving like that before?
He was trying to take a
corner,
shortcut.
or-
When you gonna ride under the bamboo?
So hang on.
Say that again?
When you gonna ride under the bamboo?
I was
No, you have bamboo time.
no.
Yeah,
you in the
bamboo
vehicle?
time. Yeah,
All right,
time.
let's hear the story now.
We're in the back seat of the vehicle.
Right.
Seatbelt? Were you wearing a seatbelt?
No.
No.
Not really.
No.
Generally,
Backseat. No one is very free.
So hang on. Let's continue. You went 300 feet.
Yeah.
300 feet down.
That was like
See, that's weird.
my second example, so that's regular.
Yeah.
Wait, but that's what-
So
when
hold on, you
used to
dropped 300 feet in a
ride- used to ride
fall.
under the bamboo.
So at what point did you realize that like
Rolled down.
Oh, the vehicle.
So,
So-
300 feet.
Lance, can I ask a question? Like, did you ever feel like a bad feeling before it happened?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Of course,
You
yeah.
always feel
Yeah,
bad
of
feelings
course.
in the
Because,
You
because
see
you,
it coming.
saw how he was driving.
Yeah.
So you feel.
I saw, you see, like in the movies when things
Slow down.
So let me
Yeah.
ask you another question. Did you tell him to slow down? No.
Can't remember.
No, when you're a young fella, you're not tell a
So Lance, I have a confession to make. I used to drive the Evolution Lancer, right?
I want to get through the story, please.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, let me do the story. Go ahead. Finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 of us on the vehicle.
4 of you,
of us
right. You were in the back.
vehicle. I was in the back. Vehicle rolled down 300 feet. It stopped at the edge of yet another precipice, upside down, while upside down. So at that point, in fact, before it started rolling, when I realized what had happened, I grabbed onto the seat in front of me, held on for dear life. And when that vehicle came to a stop, I think that's what saved me because I was able to crawl out of the vehicle and, well, barely harmed, I could see. And when we examined, if it had gone 1 foot further,
would have gone down.
that would have been it for us.
Wait. So who was injured?
Survived?
Say that again?
All of you survived?
All of us survived.
Nobody
Okay.
got injured?
2 of us got injured.
What's the
Like
worst
buying a bullshit then.
Can't remember.
That's how most Evo drivers crash. Yeah?
One of the,
That's
it
the
was
thing you
the
just
guy in
said.
the passenger seat. There was one other
Front
guy.
passenger?
Front passenger seat.
He rolled out while the vehicle was rolling.
He got ejected. Was he wearing his seatbelt? Obviously not.
You wouldn't know.
Most likely not.
I cannot remember.
He will attempt to unbuckle.
But
So you got injected while you were rolling?
In a rolling vehicle, a lot of time it saves you. A lot of time it saves you.
Yeah.
We were at the hospital together, but I cannot remember for him really.
Okay.
What I do remember is, interestingly, I was able to walk away from that accident, right? But while the car was tumbling down, it crashed through some guy's shack. I was there under the bush in his dwelling. His dwelling, yes. Right?
He's
man
dwelling,
come
I
out
like that.
and
You have to sanitize it.
hit all of us.
So you got more leads from the man that was the owner of the shop than the vehicle.
So the injuries occurred after the accident. Okay.
So the second one now.
So if the accident did not send you, is the
But lick it. Beating.
The man dwell in place.
That one is real big, sir. That is real big.
Boy.
Must be mash up the pit and all.
And you like get licks? Bumbo class. I was giving you some licks to it.
So that's the second instance.
Second instance, I was driving this time.
What were you driving? A Spark.
Pull out. Spark have thing, you know, basically.
Go ahead.
I was exhausted at the time.
I would be exhausted from driving a Spark.
Let me tell you that that the weekend before that, boy, I was pushing that Spark, boy. I could tell you.
Where?
With your
It run trying to get pushing it.
He was pushing it.
Well, I'm
I was pushing it. That's what I was saying. But at the time of that particular
Your
accident,
friends in Stone? You pushing the Spark?
at the point of that accident, I was going inside the Windjammer Gap. And when I got in the Windjammer Gap, I was like, you know what? I have been pushing the man. It was not my vehicle.
Okay.
Yes, I say to myself, you know what? I've been pushing the man's vehicle so hard for the whole weekend before that. Let me take it easy in the Windjammer Gap because fellas just be flying around corners inside the day, right? The vehicle was rolling. I was probably doing about 10 to 15 miles per hour, really. And I remember reaching where Lumna is now. I remember seeing the corner coming up, that little ascent coming up the corner right after the ascent. And then next thing I know, a loud crash wakes me up.
Wait.
Oh, you're falling asleep. Oh, okay.
So you passed the gap you were going to.
Nah, I was heading to the Windjammer Hotel itself.
Okay, so you're going. Okay.
So you slowed
So
down
where did you
to take
come
it
from?
easy,
Where did
and
you
then
come
end up
from
falling
prior
asleep.
to that? Where were you coming from?
Okay, so I'll say I had a full weekend. I was in Viewfort with the vehicle.
Full weekend.
I had a full weekend. Lot up and down for that weekend. And then the Monday when I came up from Viewfort, I had to go inside I had to go to Windjammer, right? Is at the entrance to Tuya. That's when I decided, you know what? I'll slow down here. I've been doing
You
enough.
change
with
the
my
pace on yourself. Then.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to keep sitting all the way home.
That would have never happened to you.
That's
But you
That
just
would have
went
never
on the
happened to
slow
you.
road.
That was an expensive.
Yeah.
That would have
but
never
then
happened to
I had a
you.
similar
That would have never happened to you.
Similar experience on a
He
bike.
drove
you know.
himself to sleep. He was driving so
Yeah.
slow.
On my.
Yes, you did you know they call that
Yeah.
a vehicular lullaby.
Yeah, I had a
drove yourself to
similar
sleep.
incident
Yeah.
like that on my what you call it, my F3, my CBR F3 600. Yeah, I was dating a chick, right?
That's how a lot of stories are started.
Yeah, I was dating a chick.
Was it a Shabin?
Yeah, Shabin. You know them time. Well, she was more like white. But anyways, at the time, right, we lived together, everything. So it was her uncle's birthday at camp. So I said to her, listen, let's go up the road together. She said, nah, man, I go up first. My brother, toothbrush, sea bagos, Nautica shirt. I go into a boating house. Okay, so I well dressed like a boater. Okay, toothbrush the bike, my brother. Toothbrush the bike. The bike. WD-40 didn't have nothing on me. Sparkly, right? I heading up the road, nice and easy. I get into Cap Estate. I am lost. I cannot find where I'm going. I'm calling. I'm getting nobody. I say, wow, that's what happened to me there. Try hour. So I decide this time we had our motocross track at the time. next to Landings. So I say, okay, coming from Cap, let me just make a pass through Landings and I'll watch the track where Landings is now, but it was a motocross track at the time. Pass. The bike just do. I say, want you there just so. It is starting. I say, but that's strange. So I leave it for a while, It tick. I say, okay, let's go. Oh, I go in. I then talking to myself. In going to, what you call it, to the party, I met a buddy of mine called LY, who does tents and things. LY passed me, Monjaro Hill, he heading down, I heading up. Beep, 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 beep. All right, so I gone up, now I'm at the Landings area, I'm making my way down. I get into Marishill, because I'm going back home into Leclerc. I get into Marishill, I'm hitting the gap into Corinth, and I get to almost Excel sign top of the world. I say, you see that thing all the time. Terrell is the bike clean, sweet looking. So I ride in, my helmet on, everything, I ride in slow. I was probably in like 5th gear, so it's just easy putting. I said, to hell with it. Bam, bam, bam. 3rd gear. Glasgow corner. Down Montreal Hill. Not Montreal Hill, what you call it? I'm sure. Getting ready for the bridge. Getting ready. Them time there, you have MNC, not MNC, a JQ. JQ still selling sponge. Yeah. And JQ have a big gate selling sponge on the highway going. And I come around and I getting ready now to take JQ. Boy, I see a white Cherokee, 2-door. Midshift of JQ, the road coming out. Coming up. So he's coming from, you could say, Halcyon, the wharf there, or whatever they call that place there, coming up, and I'm going down. And I'm bending the corner. Again, when you ride, you don't, as you said, we don't ride from head to there. We ride from head to all down. So, right? And I see midshift. I say, holy shit. Me turning inside a JQ gasser because he's so much in the middle of the road, right? Not knowing he's going to shock, but he hugged the middle of the road early. Them time there, if you remember well, it's still happening today. Where there's that little piece of V just before the roundabout. What do you see by that little piece of V with the 2 lane? What do you see right here? Say it again. Gravel. Right there. So I'm in the middle lane and I'm getting ready to lean. I just do the front brake. Stop. That was it.
Slide down the
the front of the bike just X. Just X. The bike just slide, stick, eject me, and I'm on my back rolling towards the JQ fence. And guess who's going back up now? LY. So I am rolling. So I actually roll, get up, and stop backwards and stand up. LY come around and said, wow, that is the best fall I ever seen. And the man with the white car, the white Cherokee, I can never forget that. I knew his sister, she was a vet. The man stop, watch me, shake his head, and just continue on his business. And all I did was I panic because I was in a mode of easy going, and I just decided, you know what? I changed my mode and now I gone because I was vexed. I was upset. I beat Cap Estate like a dog, my brother, looking for that session. And I consider, you see that thing? I taking it out on the bike now.
Oh, so you never got the girl?
I never got the party. It was the party I was looking for. I never got the party. When she come home, what I can say, what happened to you? Nothing, nothing. My brother, not a good thing, not a good thing. I write up, Chris Jam, I always had gloves and things. My brother, that I have had free falls, praise the Lord. I've never got into any car collision. This you see on my hand here is Roseau stretch. See the knee there? Finish there, Roseau stretch. Same CBR F3.
But
so what happened to the clothes?
The clothes? Oh, the Nautica shoe. I always wear my wallet on my right side, so the pants. The wallet take the plug. You know.
The money at you up. The money at you up.
No, the wallet. Leather wallet. Right, the shoe on the left side, take plug. You know, I tell you, my Nautica shirt had 2 little holes there. My brother. I can see that like yesterday.
Two things that I learned from what Terrell said, and I maybe want to share with people, is that in riding and driving too, especially driving, I would always tell people that and maybe driving at a little speed, the brakes is not your friend. Always remember the brakes is not your friend. People panic brake.
That's
and
exactly.
Panic brake is what would get you into the accident very quickly.
Yeah.
And as maybe Desmond was saying too, that a lot of people drive automatic and they don't know how to get down. They don't know how to shift the weight of your vehicle, because coming to a corner, car, bike, the kind of car you have is a rear-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. You have to know how to approach that corner. You understand? You have to know when to brake, when to accelerate. When you're going out of a corner, most times you need to accelerate out of a corner. You have to be on your brakes when you're all your weight on one side.
Brake before.
You slow your car would drag.
Then hit it.
Yeah, you don't overload the front.
So
advise to everyday road users for precautionary.
Can I just
pay attention?
Patience.
Pay attention for starters.
Pay attention.
Pay attention.
Know your surroundings. You have to know your surroundings.
But you wanted to say something on the point that I brought in. Like to elaborate, especially when I made about the potholes.
Well, okay. I think people's reaction times have slowed over the years because they are more distracted more than ever. So what you find is that a vehicle will come to a stop in front of you and they'll wait until they get right up behind the vehicle to step on their brakes. I avoided, that was 3 weeks ago, I avoided 2 accidents. Both of them almost rear-ended me. One of them was by the wharf. That was traffic. The traffic had given a little break, so we got a little distance, and I saw a Frontier coming around the corner really hard. So what I did, since I had left enough space for the vehicle in front of me, I released my brake. And he would have stopped in the spot where I was. So actually, you had to roll forward to make allowance for him to stop in time. And then the second one was at the Odsa gas station. A car had stopped, and I saw a white Aqua coming on the road really quickly, and I knew it was a girl that was driving because I saw the nails through under the windscreen thing. And the girl coming down the road. No, right? So when she coming down, what I did was that since I saw that she there's a point in time as a driver you know that you will not stop in time. Like you see the car pass that threshold and the speed was still too high. I looked ahead, there was nothing. I went to the middle of the road. I just stopped there and she pulled up alongside me.
So and that's the thing.
So
because
it's paying attention, not only in the front.
Why?
Rear, side to side.
Exactly. You drive for the people around you.
And that is actual defensive driving.
You drive for the people around you. Because before you drive in, a man hit a brake in front of you.
The 3-second rule.
Emergency stop. You're looking to stop, not to hit that man. But while you brake in, you have to brake for the man behind you. You understand? Yeah, so you can see why that man ain't gonna stop you. That man ain't gonna stop, that one go hit me. So if I can stop, let me try and move out the way.
And you know, our local system believes, I'm going to use the word you guys don't like, that once you bull somebody in an accident, you know it's a problem.
Well, once the tail lights are working, once the tail lights are functional, don't forget that part.
But that too, that's why now you have, for instance, I can't afford a brand new car. So my car have camera surrounding it. Now I put the camera. So if you feel that you come and you do a shit, my camera go pick you up, right? Because I have to protect my third party. I have to protect my third party. So having the tools, because sometimes that's what happens. Somebody, there's the 3-second rule, right? You're supposed to stay 3 seconds, the speed of the person. Yes, 3-second rule. So there you go again, is understanding the simple things. Now, you said brake lights working. You're correct. But how are you going to prove? I was in an accident like that where the guy brake light was not working. And when I said to the police officer, them time there I was still a little, young fella. So I said, officer, but you check the lights, sir. Officer, check the lights, man. You're not checking it. Boy, the police get more vexed with me because how I'm speaking to him, he got upset. Probably if I said, officer, can you see if the brake lights are working? Maybe he would have addressed it. But no, he did not have brake lights. So he, no. He stopped suddenly in front of me. My dead right of the vehicle, I had a little Escudo. My dead left side of the vehicle hit his dead right side of the vehicle. So that tells you the vehicle is like that.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's me trying to avoid. And I am still in my lane. You see the corner, Marigo Field, and there's that tight corner if you head into town. Here is Marigo Field, that really tight corner, the 2 sleeping policemen. The man stopped in that tight corner for a partner on a Delta going that he said, yeah, gas her, just stop. And here I am coming on the highway. And I don't see no brake light. All I just see is a vehicle just stopping me. I pull, and I still nick his back right corner with my left. That's how much, and I was still on the road because he just pulled into the corner. Now, if I had a cam back then, that happened a while back, like 2000 or so. If I had a cam, I go into court with you, and I challenge in that.
Okay, so let me
improper braking without
allow me
signaling.
to interject.
Nigel.
Yes.
Just a little, right? The reason why I
Everybody here.
I don't want to say I have a strong stance, but the reason why I am for the heating from the back, right? Because there are a lot
That's
of
not personal, huh?
I can't relate.
Be specific. Be specific.
My brother from another mother.
I'm saying this because one of the things that you'll mention is anticipation. Defensive driving also prepares you for anticipation.
Not when you.
In an incident like that, the reason why you would be deemed fault in the report of the police officer is because you're supposed to anticipate the movement of the driver in front of you. Right? So most times, right, to indicate you in an accident, they must have somebody at fault.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You go to court, you can it is your right to challenge it.
The late Velen John was the what you call judge or magistrate on the case. And my point again to what you were saying was that because of my flow and him stopping in the corner was more reason why my left side hit his right side. It actually showed the fact that here I am trying to avoid, but I cannot go onto the other side of the road because now I'm going to cause
another issue.
You understand? So I had no choice.
Let me finish. I'm happy that you said that because that is why there is supposed.
They have to deliberate, you know.
That is why. This is why.
Jury trial.
This is why.
Velen.
That's supposed to have road marking.
Yes.
Route measurements.
Yes.
And a detailed report.
Yes. It was marked.
As to why that person got into the accident.
Yes.
Now, because of the 3-second rule, which is supposed to be a thing, right? It automatically deems the person from the back at fault. What saves the individual to the front or the back, if they're not at fault, is the position of the vehicle, the measurement, as well as the road
braking impressions, if there are any, all of that plays, and there was
but
nothing.
What I'm trying to say is,
I didn't have to skid.
Most times in situations, I don't want to encourage road users to think that if you hit from the back means you can get away with it. And the reason why I'm saying that
you get what?
You can get away with it.
No.
Because most times, here in St. Lucia specifically, we do this thing called tailgating.
Tailgating. Yeah.
And because of that, it does not allocate time to stop.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's why I have a back camera. You remember I've
You could have
I make my cameras. I make my cameras.
You could have the Jesus Almighty Nazareth camera, my friend.
Yeah.
Okay? But the point is, the road is, realistically speaking, right? You are supposed to allocate time for the person.
Sufficient distance.
Yes.
Exactly.
But that's my point. That's why he would be wrong to blame me.
When persons get into accidents, it is your right to challenge it. That's why you have a court date.
Yes.
Right? But that is why oftentimes persons who hit from the back are deemed wrong. Because you're supposed to be able to...
Yes, judgment. Yes. A car...
Maintain distance.
A car moving center is indicating he may turn right.
Unless your brakes is not working, which is already a red flag.
Yeah, but he did not brake light. That was my point.
I understand that, right? But if you had sufficient space, there is no way on God's green earth, unless your brakes not working, that you allocate that space. And you are alert and attentive, that you will have that type of accident.
I'm not telling you no.
The person from the back is often.
Yeah, but in my case, I can tell you no
point. A quick thing. There was a situation I remember years ago on a Skettle. and I was going to the grocery
Which one?
store.
Like a girl or?
Who is it? The car.
Let's get there.
The car.
Corolla.
Toyota Corolla.
Toyota
Corolla.
Something
Old Corolla.
I know.
Toyota Corolla.
So
Yes.
I'm driving. I'm going to the original Grocery police station, and I pull into the parking lot. I think I was going to get a report or something for an accident that happened. And a gentleman comes out of the vehicle behind me and tells me, "Do you know you don't have any brake lights?" I said, "No." He's a police officer. He said he was following me, and his wife was driving. And he said he realized I'm not speeding, but the vehicle just
slowing down,
right?
Yeah, with
I said, "No."
notification.
I said, "I just checked the thing the other day, and what happened is that the
Relay
had gone bad, and you will not know."
Yeah.
You know, but he stopped me and I said, all right, so do that. So what I did was I just drove with my hazards until I got home.
Yeah.
And the next morning I went and get the relay and I changed the relay.
The modern vehicles have an alert as well. A lot of the modern vehicles.
If you have a BMW,
that's
that is.
scary.
If you have a BMW, it will tell you your headlights.
But if you have an argument I always wondered.
You didn't pay the bill, Kurt?
How a policeman would charge you?
That was a lightning flash.
How a policeman would charge you for not having, let's say, your brake lights or your indicator, not an indicator, maybe brake lights,
right?
Or your park lights,
and you don't know,
and you're driving forward every day. How would you know?
Ignorance is not.
Thank you.
Technically, you're supposed to inspect your car every few days.
In modern time.
But no, I have left.
You have
It have to be once.
Or you have left right?
No.
Right.
I left somewhere and I got to a roadblock. And when I left, I know both my headlights were working. But when I turn on the headlights, I could have seen on the wall.
Right.
You understand? Both of them were on. When I got to the roadblock, I didn't realize one of them were.
Somebody burned you.
Yeah.
Somebody burned you.
So how? And then I got charged. You understand?
No, but why couldn't they give at least
But
have
I'm
given you
happy.
a warning?
Hold on, Bolo.
I got charged.
Bolo.
You
I'm
check-
happy.
You charged me because I have one headlight.
Yeah, Bolo.
Yeah,
I'm
I
happy.
just left. And both of them were working.
I'm happy you bring up lights.
To me, a warning could have been.
We're talking about the possibilities of things happening and how they happen and why.
But in a second. Around the corner, around the corner to the police roadblock.
The only thing, Bolo, if you had a what you call a dash cam, you could have shown it on the wall at the time in the video and when you reach by the police. Okay, so buy a dash cam. Anyways, we're talking about lights. You know the worst set of lights. St. Lucia, we are happy people, eh?
HID LED lights.
No, I ain't going there. I'm not going there. According to the law, the color of your lights, okay? According to the law. Here you can have any color on your vehicle. But the worst light.
Red lights in the front?
No.
Blue.
The blue. The worst, you see your there you go. You know that, not even that a LED, that's D. Okay. But the worst lights, right, is those blue LED lights. Now you're talking about the possibility of causing a problem. And that's why again I say the police are the custodians of the law. We worry about so many other little things when there's so many factors, and I go back to that word factors, that contribute to why people, especially new drivers, I had to teach my wife that when you're driving and a car blinds you, just look dead left and make sure you see that corner, the edge of the road. That's all you have to do, right? Because if you don't do that, you're not able to. But what is happening to our system, right, that allows these people to get away with it? And I'm going to be open about another one. Our truck drivers.
Let's start talking about
Our truck drivers have no indicators working, no hazards working. They go in and they buy in. Hold on, when you see a truck coming, you swear it's the fire service. No. My brother is ticket. So the lights working. Ticket in the front of it. The front of the vehicle, colorful with these new LED little square lights that you see. And they can program it how they want. This one goes up, that one goes up. At the back of the vehicle, what do you see? You're in a dark place or the vehicle is parked around a corner.
No lights.
Right? No lights. And you get into that,
they have
there's no reflector.
There's a new trend now. They have railroad facing bright LEDs. I hope that trend never gets on a large scale. You have that already, right?
Yeah, that's another problem.
It's like high beams and the truck is facing railroad.
Desmond, I was in a road. An officer stopped me, right? And we have friends who are into the what you call it, the big off-roading. They need their lights. But there's a law that speaks to
No more.
the amount of lights you can have on a vehicle on at any given time. You cannot drive if your lights bright all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the officer stops me. He's doing a road check, you know. This guy is driving down with a
Light bar.
a light bar in the
LED light
front
bar. Yeah.
and a light bar at the back. All right, it's an orange Daihatsu. It was 4x4 orange. You must know that vehicle.
Don't outdemand
No,
yourself.
I must.
Don't outdemand.
I must. So at the end of the day, here I'm going, and the
Christ.
officer stops me, and the vehicle pass. Nighttime roadblock. So I said to the officer, yes, what are you stopping me for? No, I'm just doing a check. I said, wonderful. What would you like? Blah 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 blah. I said, did you not notice that vehicle in front with that bright light facing you?
Police
Oh,
will be not stopping him, boy.
I'm not speaking to you,
that guy, yeah.
to this. No, he said something like, I'm not speaking about this to you. I am here to, because I'm checking your paperwork. But officer, you pull me over to do a check. He is breaking the law. Officer, I said, no. I say, officer, what is your name and number? He don't answer me. I say, constable, what is your name and number? Now he gets offended because he pay a stripe. So when I call him constable, he got offended. I call him constable. But now I have to take my rights to find out what is your name and number, because I want you to understand that this is more of a danger. And that's the problem. These blue lights and all of these things on the cars are fancy and nice if you have a car show. But the blue light in particular is dangerous. You can't even see a number plate. Use other lights you see in a number plate. Once you put the blue light on, you can't see. Yeah.
Now, to add to what you're saying now, there's a stupid trend. I say stupid deliberately. Because I remember there's this particular S-Club that I saw that refused to put on his headlights. And in the grill,
Yes.
they have four lights.
Yes.
Four LED, not fog lights, bro.
Yeah.
Fog lights is to be
Yes, bottom, left, and right.
It is. That's basically flood lamps.
Yes.
in the center.
You wanted to make it a BMW.
It looks like a motorcycle.
Yes, yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's so bright now, your vision is now
Blurred,
you're
yeah.
all of it. Right? Until you get close to it, you realize that's not a motorcycle.
Yes, that is the ticketing that needs to take place, because if you ask me, and I'm not going to tell you I'm not guilty of it, the traffic department, I don't know the new name it's working under, has the ability to bring in more revenue than customs.
Really?
I'm telling you, the traffic department has the ability to bring in, if we take it serious, a truck driving with load. Let's go back to factors. What does the truck have in its box? Dirt. The law says the dirt must be covered.
Yeah, covered.
When I am on the road that paid my $2,400 insurance, and you telling me that I'm going to slide out because a truck go up the road, you forget in Monjuro the amount of cement. Thank you, because it's so obvious the problem. But who is reporting it? We as a people. Who is calling and saying,
The mudguards as well. The mudguards as well, because
it's
the size of rocks.
Yes.
That they just can inject.
You know, but that's what I'm telling you.
Terrell had mentioned that.
You imagine I got a ticket. Listen to this. I got a ticket for $500. Improper display of my what they call, not number plate. There's a way they call it. Improper display of my registration. What you think I had? I had a number plate on a motorcycle. No lie, the plate was that big. Fellas used to tell me, guys, move that, you will make them pass the law, right? Because there's a size to motorcycle plate. And at the bottom of my plate, I have a picture on the day I got the ticket, says, God is good. The young man come, and the young man walk around, four of us, all jackets, all gloves, all helmets, and I had long pants.
The one time.
Right?
The one time.
Yeah. And the man walk, and the man reach on my bike. He said, that bike I check it. So I worried. I lift up my seat. I take out all my paperwork. The man said, that there is a charge. So I call in the inspector, and I said, Inspector, come and look at that. Well, the number plate is not being displayed as it is agreed to by the registration, blah, blah, blah. God is good. Not dog kill cat. Not I go get you, murderers live forever. Nothing like that. You're charging me $500. How am I impeding How am I causing? How am I contributing? I'm not going to tell you no to that, sister.
What size was the font?
But the size of the font was about that. At the end of the day, my point is what we study. Hence, earlier on, I spoke about the lights.
But none of it is right.
What we study, but you see, no, but hear me out. No, but hear me out. What you are charging me for is a charge to bring revenue, far as I'm concerned. Right? Which has no implication on causing somebody life.
Technically.
That's the problem I have, you know. That's the problem I have.
Has an issue in registration. AY.
In what camera? No. My number plate is displayed. Listen, my number plate is displayed in the size of the font and bigger. The number plate on my motorcycle was that size, you know.
But you know something? They did not ask you for bigger. They asked you for
no, that's the size. It is actually that size.
Just right.
Yeah.
Just right. Yeah. I gonna.
But what we have to study, my point is what we have to study, what we have to study is so much out there.
But
you know,
that's my issue.
So much out there.
I'm saying that so much times we focus on the many things that we do, and we're like, that is so small compared to whatever this person is doing, but we are all contributing to
my question here goes to, and I understand what you're saying, but under the road safety discussion we are having, I am saying that there are many contributing factors that cause people to end up in accidents that can be, of course, curtailed, controlled, ticketed to change a trend. So we were worried about the number plates of a big size number plate and the 3D number plate. How much discussion about that number plate? What the number plate in argument was, well, our cameras can't really see it when they pick it up. Okay, fine. But is that causing an accident? Is that creating a hazard for somebody?
I agree. I just feel like if we not be hypocrites in the situation,
yes,
and we're eventually trying to control it, let's control all aspects.
And I agree.
I think that whether you think that this is mini,
I don't think it's mini.
If you hit somebody's vehicle and they want to identify, they can't, because all they're going to say is they had a number plate saying.
I'm not going to tell you no, but the number plate is not big. God is good.
Jump in. Going back to the thing about the lights, a lot of talk about lights these days. People have LEDs, people have all kinds of different lights, and people
light bar.
Talking about they want to police that. Number one, how do you police it? Because how do you come with some instrument to measure
lumens?
Yeah, that's the light bar.
The horizon of the light as well.
And the horizon of the light. So then another factor people have to realize is that all of the LEDs and the HIDs they're talking about
come as factory equipment now.
Not say
no to that.
And then pause. A factory car would come with illumination of what 6,000 K. That's street legal in a lot of states. In the states, in Japan, they have a street legal how bright it can be. The other thing too, that right-hand drive vehicle would have the right headlamp. It will be
slightly lower,
slightly lower, so that it coming towards you with another right-hand drive vehicle, it wouldn't blind you. Because the right, if tonight going home, just check. Go towards a wall, maybe a little distance, you check your right headlamp, is a little lower if you have a factory car. And it's hard to police. They have bulbs these days, like let's say what beach come up now, Terios, the new Terios, the African twins. You got your bulbs, but you know, we have to almost change your whole
head. On a point of correction.
Yes. And
your lights 700 to 2,000. Okay,
the lumens?
And on high beams 3,000. Yes, not 6,000.
You're talking about light intensity, not lumens. He wasn't talking about.
Yeah, but factory on cars, legal lighting.
No, are you talking about lumens or light intensity?
Well, lumens.
Let me ask you.
Let's see light intensity.
The color shade. So what you said was correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Because if you above that, the color would change.
It starts to get more bluish.
Bluish.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that the light standards for the US, Canada, Japan, or whatever should be the same for the Caribbean?
No.
I don't see a difference.
Yeah. So why is it that the vehicles that are imported here,
bigger highways,
people in those countries don't complain about the light intensity, but we complain about it here.
So I heard
No, so we complain about the fellas that bring the high intensity.
No, I'm talking about stock.
So
There's
your
some
point, I heard
vehicles.
you sometime, I follow the podcast,
Right.
and you stated about surrounding light, ambient light.
Right.
So with the fact that ambient light is poor, it makes these lights seem extremely bright.
Right, exactly.
And you have a point. I'm not going to tell you no to that. Because when I heard you said that, I said, okay, yeah, that is true. But at the same time, a lot of these cars which naturally have these high density lights also are automatic, that the minute a car light hits it, it just dims down
So let me-
to that point.
I use myself for example. On my vehicle, right? When I drive,
What's the word you guys use?
when I live in auto, right?
Intensity.
As soon as I approach a blind corner, a corner with no light.
No light.
the
Or go for the
light comes
tunnel.
on.
Exactly.
Or go for the
The
tunnel.
moment it senses a headlight coming my direction, it comes down, right? And it has that going all the way.
Right.
Now,
Toyota without.
if you're unaccustomed to it, it's almost annoying.
Right.
So you, as somebody driving, want to drive how
Federal
you want to
standards.
drive.
Yes.
But if you
FMVSS
pay attention to how the vehicle operates, and it fits how it's supposed to behave.
Toyota have what? AFS? I think Toyota.
Yeah, something like that. Well, so what I'm
The
saying,
bus I drive has that, the automatic.
so
light.
if we have to implement something like that, then the argument has to be that the police have to now determine what is an acceptable light horizon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, no matter how bright the light is, if it's pointing down, it will not blind you.
Blind you, yeah.
And then the second thing they have to determine is the lumens that are allowed.
But you
So because for instance, the light,
light conditions of
the-
the country.
yeah, the light horizon,
Like what Carol
because
said.
a guy for Hilux.
Yeah,
with
his
that,
light
and,
will
you
be
have,
up.
and you have a lower vehicle that light in your eye.
Yeah,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you never notice a car goes.
That's why I had my headlights off
A
most
car
of the
goes
time.
over a speed bump.
Yes,
It's
points
approaching
up.
you,
Yes.
and you swear the person blink you.
Blink you,
Yeah.
You notice that exactly.
So why nobody not talking?
Desmond density is at 3,000.
So why nobody not talking
lumens.
about the people that come?
Lumens, they whatever
Oh, light intensity.
intensity. is.
Why nobody not talking about the people that come, the bus drivers that come with the regular tungsten headlights and they go and put the brightest LED bulb with another shiny.
But okay. So here's my argument. There's a light meter that camera people use, right? When you're a cameraman and you're doing a shoot, you have a light meter. Okay, so it measures what
The lumens.
no, there's a not lumens. I forget what it is. There's something No, that's decibels.
not
There's
BTUs?
something else on a meter.
Okay, the light meter has the CRT in terms of how color correct the light is.
And there's something else
to measure whether or not there is how much tint is in your light, that kind of stuff. The distance you're talking about.
No, the brightness of it. Like you're about to do a shoot, whether you need to
It's
up
lumens,
your
it's
IS. Is lumen? Is the same lumens?
lumens,
Okay,
okay.
cool. I have a meter woman. I never saw lumens. Probably it's what you call it's analog, so it doesn't say lumens. So when you put it on the car, you can tell. What you need is a tool to measure.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
But measuring light is
Intensity.
With light, basically, you have to think of it this way: it's the distance as well too, because you remember the screw of the light. For example, the light above us there right now. There,
Yes.
right? If I pull out the softbox on that light,
Oh, boy,
the
that blinded
intensity of
us
the light
away.
will be.
Yes. You have a diffuser.
So it's
Yes.
diffused.
Yeah.
So the distance also tells you how the light affects.
Now, as you speak on diffusing, that's why I'm talking about the bulb from the factory, not designed for those bulbs, for those lamps, the halogen ones. And then you go and put one, and it's supposed to be in a projector headlight. That is blinding everybody on the road.
Yeah.
You not even seeing where you're going.
And that's the other thing. That's the other argument too. Sometimes fellas will put these bright lights, but it's not really giving them more light.
It's not giving them more
What
visibility.
they going
You're actually giving them less light.
You have to give them less light.
Because
do we
the
have
glass
to
of the
touch on
plastic is not
pedestrians?
designed to diffuse the light to move around. It's just
All right.
what?
All right. So I wanted to touch on pedestrians. I think that over the years, especially with a lot of the roads now having pedestrian crossings and these sorts of things,
That's what I wanted.
there is a certain air of entitlement that our pedestrians have, and it's very unfortunate. I can give an example. There was a time I was driving by Laplace, and a woman, I think she had forgotten something across the road. She ran, she bolted out of Laplace, sprinted across the road to the other side. She never looked. Okay? Now, whenever I'm approaching a pedestrian, naturally, I cover my brake. So I had to slam on my brakes. And I'm looking around, people looking around like, what the hell just happened? And the girl laughing, the girl just ran off. There was another time
You think new drivers know that phrase, cover your brake?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Calypso finals, I was assisting with the doctors for providing medical coverage. Backing up, a woman walked directly behind the vehicle. So the police officer that was directing the traffic said, "Miss, you didn't say the vehicle was reversing. But all of them have reverse cameras." The officer just watched me and say, you hearing that? And the thing is that these cases, it's just 2 examples off the top of my head, but it's not unique. They are more commonplace.
Yes.
A lot of times I see people reversing in town and the person back in the back of the vehicle. You see me?
Yeah,
you see me, man. What you take it for?
Let's talk about the
But when do you have the most blind spots? When you are reversing.
When you're reversing, yeah.
If you were not supposed to have blind spots when you're reversing, the car seat would be behind your driver's seat and you'd be facing the other way.
Ignorance.
When you're reversing. But the point is that when you're reversing a vehicle, even if it has cameras, the camera still has a limited field of view because
Yeah,
if
it
the
still has
person
blind
walks
spots.
directly behind the vehicle, you'll just see a flash pass by the camera.
and the crossovers. When they think that it's okay, it's right across the
Oh, well, so what happened to a woman in the morning?
Yeah, the
woman
woman get lick up and fly all
a
across.
construction worker, she hit the construction worker and the guy just hopped in the back of the vehicle and told her, bring me to hospital please. The guy literally ran across the road, he got hit by the woman, that happened by the cinema. And the guy, like, why is blood he just hurled himself, like he do like a high jump thing, and just hurled himself in the back of the vehicle, and the man land and man say, bring me hospital first.
This one, that sounded too sensational to be real.
That happened for true.
It's possible.
That happened for true.
It's possible.
So, no, but one last thing I want to touch on. And Terrell made an extremely solid and valid point earlier on. If I am walking with a child and the road is to my right, the child is on my left.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I never lose sight of a child because the second they slip out of your hand, the first thing they do is run.
Yeah, in the road.
They're not necessarily in the road, but they just bolt.
Right, Terrell give an example of that.
And any direction. I find a lot of the times I see people walking with their children and the
And they're
children
not
are
even
on the
paying
road
attention.
side.
They're not paying attention to the children.
They are on the roadside.
How can you walk as a parent and again
And your
coming
child
back-
in the traffic.
No, not even that. Your child is behind you.
Yes.
How do you walk as a parent? Remember, I tell you in my line of work, safety is everything. And the minute I see a parent walking and the kids are behind them, it tells me everything about this parent. I analyze you just from that one mistake because somebody can just snatch that child behind you and run in the bush and you don't even know. You understand? How do you
But
walk?
my child talking so much.
It don't matter. But I'm happy I want to anchor in, weigh in on the pedestrian. The question I have, and I have written to the Bureau of Standards, right, and to the Ministry of Transport.
Why they put the pedestrians in the corner?
Not just why they put pedestrians in the corner, is exactly, look at our roundabout.
Yeah.
So let's take a moment and think about our roundabout. You have a major issue with the Union roundabout, right? In location, the pedestrian crossing. So I was hunting, I had to go onto my phone and see because I have the email where I sent it out. You can find the information under which the distance to a corner to which a pedestrian must be. If you go, those of us who travel, which I'm sure we all have, pedestrian crossings are directly under your lights. Where you have the stop and go, your pedestrian crossing is right there. The car has to stop prior to the pedestrian crossing. The car doesn't stop over or on the pedestrian crossing.
Yeah.
It's prior to the pedestrian crossing, where crossings are. So as you come around the roundabout, going back to what you said, both of you gentlemen made mention of, about looking in the mirror. Here's a pedestrian. You come in around, what you call it, you southbound, you in the inner lane of the Sir Julian R. Hunt Highway, and you're on the inner lane left side, Shock, and you're going into Union. And here's another partner coming down with you the same way, and you're about to swing, but that pedestrian now is halfway across that road, about to get into that other side, and now you're thinking, don't break the pedestrian, oh my God, he go pull me. Right? Because you're watching your review, because you see nothing coming, you're clear to proceed. The pedestrian crossing has to be lower down.
Yeah.
Right? Yes?
Pedestrian crossings. The pedestrian crossing next to
Jamari?
even Jamari, high up the BG roundabout.
Another one, same issue.
That was, you know, that was a stopgap measure. That was supposed to be a temporary. You know that?
Yeah.
That's supposed to be temporary.
Hold on.
Yes.
You all have to remember
It's a pedestrian crossing right there.
Yeah.
When you're supposed to have the walk
Hold on. There was supposed. Hold on. There was supposed to be a walkover.
But you cannot because of the planes.
There was supposed to be a
Not
walkover.
Yeah.
the first one,
Yeah.
the one directly after the round.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
enough boundary,
You cannot-
right?
So
Both
if
of
you
them like that
notice-
too.
if-
Both of them like that.
Listen,
But that one I can see
yeah,
because
the
it comes from
area,
a
the
stretch.
area in general had to change what it was supposed to do in design,
Right.
because of the airport.
Yeah.
Right.
So
So
one
there's
of the,
supposed to be a walkover.
so one of the problems
That's no excuse. So they didn't know the airport was there before they do
no,
that.
no, but you're right.
They didn't know the airport was there before they do that.
It's not about
They just put the airport.
That's the reality.
Yes.
Right, that's the reality.
Yeah.
The one heading
No.
northbound.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, in the other lane closest to the airport.
That's what he's talking about.
But not only that, you see signage. So according to the distance of a sign to awareness, you cannot have a sign on the pedestrian crossing telling you it's the pedestrian crossing. I can't remember. It's about 100 meters to that point or something.
Right.
So you have an alert.
So
no,
you're-
less
you're
than that.
forewarned.
You have an alert
That's too far.
to the point. Yeah, it's less than that. I can't remember the stats I was looking for. But all of them. But the problem with us in our area of the topography of the land and the layout of the land, you almost have no choice, because when I brought the argument across, I went to the permanent secretary at the time. I think it was Ms. Joseph.
You ready? Go for it.
And yeah, no, because it was affecting me. I have made the helmets. I pulled a thing on helmets when Chinatown was selling helmets. My brother, I'm not a man who just talk. I'm a man of action. Trust me.
I know this.
That's one thing about me. I don't just give lip service. I don't have time for that. So at the end, it's a waste of my time. At the end of the time, and my time is morning, right? At the end of it, you must understand, and that was what I got out of it, to the point where you almost had no choice. So when you look at a major highway, where now cars have 2 lanes on one side, 1 lane on the other, a school, and you have a pedestrian crossing, Jamari. Okay, Jamari. And I say Jamari meaning the area there by the school. Before, when it was just done, you had, just before it, a bunch of reflector lights. If you can recall, when they just did it, you had the amber reflector lights.
Yes.
They're gone. We never replaced them. They're gone. We never replaced them. We had flashing lights with solar on them, amber flashing lights. Your volley, they never replaced them. My tax-paying money, I don't mind. Because at the end of the day, it will save a life. The fact that you see a red flag, well, an orange flag waving, it alerts you. When you and I are driving on the highway and we see one orange cone, what's the first thing we say? Hey, they have a roadblock or they have something there.
Yeah.
It alerts you.
Or it works.
You understand? That's the first thing that goes. So when you're driving there, you absent-mindedly forget about that. How many of us are driving, just to show you when you have muscle memory, when you create a system that is consistent for a while, muscle memory sets in. How many of us drive on what you call it? What's that?
Autopilot.
No. In the north, after where the guys sell the coconut there, what's that
By
hotel?
Pope Site.
Not Pope Site. Harbor Club. How many of us still? How many of us still slow down for the sleeping policemen that are not there?
Yeah.
Well, I cannot stop, but yeah. You know.
But you understand what I'm saying? Because muscle memory. You understand? So it created a system in you that you know that area so much that you naturally just slow down there, because and that too helped with the pedestrian crossing. That's right there. Because of how we are designed, the government, where's my friend? The government, thank you, I got your attention, cannot afford to always purchase land, because you have to buy the people land, to do the necessaries.
So what about the wrongabout? The wrongabout?
SNS.
Okay, so that is a British. That is
a British roundabout.
That is a British laser.
Okay, first of all,
Yeah.
It actually works.
that wrongabout is the wrong
It is the wrong
roundabout.
location. It's
That
in-
wrongabout was supposed to be, in my opinion,
Yes.
in the Computer World Junction.
Thank you.
It would have served a better purpose there than
You have a you
No.
You
When
have,
you going afterwards?
you have a good point. But hold on. Let
When you
me
going afterwards?
let me.
the point that you implemented something in small roads when it's supposed to be implemented in larger roads.
No, that's not true. No. That's not true. Listen. The SNS junction
Is a-
SNS junction has how many exits? It has more exits.
Yeah. You have
That's a lot.
you have three. You have three.
So
But hold on. Let us understand why the no right turn is there. So let me help you with that.
no, before we get to all that, the whole argument to that whole road, and that's my road every day. That's why I bought a bike again. It's because we need a
Congestion.
4-lane highway there.
Yeah.
And that's simple.
But
We
that
need a
is why
4-lane highway
that is
from
why
Shock-
Bolo
from the Shock roundabout
to Grosley.
to the Grosley junction to Capacity
Yes.
there. We need a 4-lane highway. We
but-
have no ifs, ands, and we need it
And that
about
is why
57.
Bolo.
So all them talking about no right turn,
Bolo,
very
that is
wrong
why,
about.
but
and
hold
things,
on, that
we
is
need a
why
49.
the reason the no right turn was implemented is this. Watch it. Look at why they implemented the no right turn. For those of you who drive from the north going down to the south, and I'm speaking about the junction of First Caribbean Bank and JQ Mall, right? People, when you get to Redry Park, what do a lot of people do? They dive into Redry, they run up to Redry. Now hold on for me. You are southbound.
People are the bus drivers.
Okay, same difference. People carrying more people.
Falling
Right? So no, I'm not telling you no, but I want you to see why. Because if you don't have Bolo, give me a minute. If you don't have butter, use oil. So that's what's happening there. The case and point is I go in there. The case and point is people would cut into Redry Park. 5 cars going to Redry Park. Some smart person at the top of Redry by Volney there will now decide, oh, let me let them 5 cars pass. You now in the back there waiting for half an hour. Them 5 cars cause you to wait for 45 minutes. You understand what's happening?
Yeah.
Because they're cutting
It's
through and
accumulated
it's slowing down the natural flow
of traffic. Yeah.
So what was happening in that junction in relations to Windwall Island gases and the top of Corinth, okay, is the same effect. So a lot of cars were diving in, right, and then cutting. In my opinion, as much as I understand the why, I believe it should have had a time slot. Because you are now telling me in the evening time, when there's no traffic, right? And I am doing the back road, which you are asking me to utilize the back road to lessen my friend over yonders. Yes? You are asking me. Thank you. All right. You are asking me to lessen the amount of congestion on the roads and utilize the back roads. You are now forcing me, right, if I want to come out of Corinth, to still cause a congestion because when I come from the say I take Shock into Dane Paulette and I do all of that, I now still have to come out of, imagine I take Shock, listen to it, I take Shock, I do all of that. I burn extra fuel after your price of fuel is going down. I burn all of that. And you make me, hold on for me, it just went down. And then I come out, right? And I come out on top of Corinth there. I do all that work from the bottom of Shock to come out in Corinth.
You understand? All right.
So it should have been a time slot, a time slotted to this. I say a time slot for the right, no right turn. A time slot.
I vex about the man that say we did not need a falling highway. And
who said that?
No, I don't. I just saying what I said. I vex about that. And then every day you was with his outriders. Who go now? They say give me my falling highway. It's more than overdue. I need a falling highway. And let me just kill that topic and let's move on to.
Because we don't have a falling, but we have a roundabout.
Yes, so we don't need all that. We don't need all that roundabout, no right turn, don't pass through here. from 7 to 9, this and that. Give me my falling highway. That's what we need.
Well, boy,
Yeah. Give me my falling
our
highway.
price of fuel will go up, our license fee
falling
will go
highway.
up because you have to get it somewhere.
So,
You have to get the money from somewhere.
Stress on this. I want to get a feedback from you.
Ah,
You are saying
yes.
that the roundabout is in the correct position and should not have been placed in the Computer World Junction?
no.
Okay, Computer World Junction, a roundabout there. If I have a choice, I'd put a roundabout by Jamari instead of there. I'll tell you why. Hold on. Here's the differ. No, you cannot put a mini.
That's what
Look at the size of the road and the. Oh, hold on now. Hold on. Look at the size of the road in that area that you speak in versus the size of the road where SNS is. The margin of the road there at the no right turn is 10 times more. It's much bigger. But it's much bigger. You need a huge roundabout in that area. But what would it serve? How many inlets come into it? They don't have no. You can't put it there. You can't put it there. I rather see for road safety, the amount of accidents that have occurred on the John Compton Highway. For road safety, the roundabout being by Jamari serves a better interest. Guess why? Because all the cars that are coming out of Northwest, that are northbound, by law, as you said earlier on, let's not take out anything, let's keep it there, even if your number plate and all of that, by law, is supposed to go all the way down to VG, cut VG, right, go down by Red Cross, reverse into Red Cross, come out, and then head back up the highway.
From my Northwest side.
That's if you're coming out of Northwest. That includes the traffic department. Yes, that includes everybody.
They're supposed to be going down.
You need to go down, or you go down and you cut into Jamari, go through Jamari's gas station like a roundabout, and then head back north. So by right.
And you know I'll tell you why.
I think the gin is gin in you.
Bolo or Kalin? Kalin is Israel.
Bolo.
He loves bolo. I'll say it with an accent for you.
About the falling, right?
Yeah, that's a must. We need that.
That's what's going to happen when he implements, when the falling is implemented.
Yeah,
the
second falling is cap. The second falling is capacity to Denry.
Where you are is you still have to get to the roundabout.
I don't know.
That's important. In my world, that's very important.
No. Why? Because that's one of the only parts.
I'm not saying it's not good.
Yeah. Yes, of course. Falling, we need falling. We need falling.
But when you look at road safety, what is causing a problem, in truth and in fact, and Desmond said it early on, and I can never forget that, Biker magazine, right? And I read it. And from that day, I realized, holy smokers, boy, every time you meet a minor into a major, open your eyes. Because small inlets onto the main road is where you have the majority of accidents taking place. And that same right turn, I can tell you that almost every year for Independence, we've had motorcycle accidents right there. Because people stop, which they shouldn't. According to the highway rule, you're supposed to feed into the traffic. I'm not supposed to stop for you. I have no reason to stop for you while I'm driving on the highway. You're supposed to go with the flow of traffic and you fit in. But we don't have the merger lanes as you understand. But by right, if you look at it, majority of the accidents occurred because somebody stopped for somebody.
Now, funny you said that because I remember the last
Let
time
it flow, hop in when you can.
The last time we did road safety, I'm not pointing fingers, but if you watch where I'm looking, they say, because you have to cross one lane of traffic, it's okay. But they always have an accident in
No.
One
lane of traffic. Who has the right of way? You have to ask there.
When you look at the Jamari Junction,
yes,
right. The reason why you have the ability to go up that way is
up which way?
Up northwest side.
North.
Is because
northbound.
You only have to traverse one lane of traffic
across.
And they have the
okay, so this
as opposed to by northwest, where there's the There's 4 lanes.
4 lanes.
Okay,
That
so
you have
so
to
the
check.
only way,
That's what I said.
hold on for me, but hold on for me. The only way I can agree with you is when I see the markings that are on the road.
Okay.
If the marking is a straight line, you cannot go across.
But by Jamari.
No, but that's what I'm saying. If by Jamari, the marking is a straight line.
It's not a straight line.
Okay, so it's broken
The
lines.
lines by Jamari.
Are broken.
So you could
Okay, yeah, so you can
Right.
turn up. You can turn up.
There are hard lines by Northwest.
Yeah, they're hard lines. Yeah.
Northwest have hard lines.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to.
But I always see the police swinging.
Hey.
Paul,
I want you to
Once your siren is on.
I need to get it properly.
Yeah.
Coming out of Northwest.
Right.
You, apart from contending with just the 1 lane that's going down, you
Yeah.
have to contend with a 2nd lane coming down, and there's 2 lanes going northbound.
Yeah. It's difficult. It's difficult. That is why, in my opinion, again, if you had that roundabout there, you remember the famous accident on the motorcycle, the guy wheeling, going by, flip off. You would, because with the kid, because it would have broken down the momentum. So it means anybody coming into that zone would naturally start to slow down.
But the speed bump is actually a problem.
You know? No, you where?
Sorry, speed bump. The pedestrian crossing.
Yeah, you cannot have a pedestrian crossing on a highway, but because you need to create, and you cannot put an overpass because of the airport. Nothing can go into you see beyond the airport. That's why that entire area, what you call it, Peter and Company, technically is within where they shouldn't be, but they were there, and anyway, the reasons are beyond us. But that whole area, if a plane runs off, needs to have that ability to run off. That's why no business can go there. Nothing.
Okay, so if you say you're not supposed to have a pedestrian on the highway, how comes it's there?
Well,
Because they can't have it there.
well, I can get you the English laws which are within our structure, but I'm not telling you no because of again, you ban it.
Why? Because this
You ban
happens,
it.
like, almost end up in an accident. The same thing we're talking about.
Yes.
As soon as you come from in the roundabout,
Which
you get
one?
Out, either anyone.
Yes.
It's just there. As soon as
Yes.
on the highway,
You know the other argument they will give you? The next argument they will ask you is what is the speed limit? 40 miles an hour. So the road, I'm just giving you what I've been told. The road is designed for 40 miles an hour. And when you get into the roundabout, by right, there are broken lines which tell you to heel. So you're supposed to brake to almost a stop. So then your momentum crossing the roundabout should be reduced.
Good, but listen to this.
That's what the law will tell you.
Listen to this. Coming from the roundabout, you're not supposed to stop in the roundabout, right?
No.
Good.
Yeah, and you stopping in the roundabout for the pedestrian.
We see that happening all banners.
Yes.
Happening all about.
Yes.
All the time. VG this afternoon, I was driving up north. So I'm on the left. The guy that already passed, go through the roundabout, actually stopping for pedestrian that coming from the area to go to the
Yeah.
Another guy driving through.
Yeah, now is now being
roundabout
surprised.
Going down north.
And it's a
going down
surprise.
south.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's a surprise.
Yes.
Now I sell.
Especially
See, I have
that
listen,
lane, the two there.
Watch on my left,
Yeah.
right hand side. I see I'm clear. So I'm traversing. Guess what? Again, look the guy. So I stop in the roundabout.
Yes.
That is problem.
Even the corner.
We just covered that.
Yeah, even the corner that is there. What the allowance of the road for when you come from that roundabout, meaning you either going to Vidbutay Road, Leclerc, or you going John Compton Highway. How do you feel taking that corner for John Compton Highway? It is still narrow. Right? If you're in the inner lane, if you're in the inner lane and you're taking the corner, you still feel a little bit, oh my God, they could have moved that concrete in more so the road would have had a better flow. But it is what it is.
All right. Listen.
Yeah. But it is good to discuss it because there's future building and future things coming. So it's good to discuss it.
The kids sleeping.
It lets the government know that there ain't dummies out there.
Okay, so closing thoughts on the final segment of road safety because bit that was good there tonight. Bit that was bad.
Well,
Let's start with the ladies first and then come down the line.
okay.
Say what now?
Oh my god.
She's bad.
Final thoughts on road safety. Let's just wrap it up.
That I just think that like a lot of persons who get their driver's license, majority of the time, they don't practice the things that they don't like doing or not comfortable doing. Like I always say, practice makes perfect. There was a time where I used to hate to reverse. Now I can reverse anywhere. A regular woman can't reverse in certain areas, but I'm not afraid to do it. I mean, I might be like, skeptical because I'm short, and most of the times, most vehicles don't necessarily have the seat lift to assist you, but like the newer ones have the seat lift. I'm not saying that.
A phone book.
Well, my point is that like I practice the things that I didn't feel comfortable with when I learned to drive, and I learned on a manual vehicle.
Well
But
done.
when I got a vehicle to drive, like when I actually started driving on my own and my mom wasn't like, cruising with me all the time, it was a automatic vehicle I was given to drive. Like I didn't have a choice. Like,
Yeah. But you learn under the.
but I
yes.
learned on
Well
a
done.
manual. My
Well done.
point was that like I practiced the things I wasn't really comfortable with before my exam.
All right.
Afterwards, when I was learning to drive. So my thing is to everybody, like, you have to drive for yourself and others, and you have to practice.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Simone?
That's one regrets I have in getting my license, not learning on a manual. But anyway, that time already passed. I definitely think just to bring home the point of personal responsibility on the road, whether you are motorcyclist, driver, pedestrian, bus driver, we need to look out for each other on the road and stop driving like an ass.
Hey!
Carol, swing into it.
Oi, we've covered so much here tonight. I can just break it down to three things. Two little points. One for riding. One factor that we also forgot is that sometimes we have a pillion rider that has no experience in riding, and that can throw you off completely. Two, like we had on the road safety too, where Casey was saying, is like the trailers of the trucks, they have no laws for them. So that's why they don't have any backlights, indicators or anything. And I think the police, they're pushing for all the money, they're pushing for all the things with the tickets, but 3/4 of the time, if you challenge it in court, you win. Because there are no laws in place to protect the law itself or the tickets themselves in what they're putting through. And I think they should do a whole revamp of a lot of these aspects for the trucks. Like Terrell was saying earlier, I'm on the road every day. I've had stones, pieces of metal, you understand? A cloud of sand and dust block you. But that's what I'm saying. They need to put the effort into enforcing it and also adding some new laws that protect a lot of different things. But I hope tonight that a lot of the experts we've had here with experience and whatnot have brought a lot of things to light in terms of pedestrian crossings and whatnot. And I urge anyone, like, go and learn. Like, you're not always right as a pedestrian when you're crossing the road. Understand me? Because the law gives way to mechanical failure, medical condition, or just being a distracted driver. So even if you're right and you're paralyzed, your life is still fucked.
Yep.
Right.
Well said.
Well said. Indeed.
Just to slightly expound on Carol's point, I will say that for both riders and drivers, well, I can group in pedestrians as well. One simple rule, pay attention. Okay? That one time that you're distracted could be the one time that's your last. Okay? But I would like to end on a more positive note because we've complained a lot about what we have going on with the road and these sorts of things. And my mom always told me it's better to light a candle than curse the darkness. So I represent Club Armor. Bolo is Island Time Attack. Terrell is MotoX. So big up to the clubs that are creating avenues for people to express themselves in a positive and safe environment if they want to be able to express themselves, their vehicles are not on the road. Big up to the budding SLMSA, St. Lucia Motorsports Association as well. The guys in Dennery, I think his name is Zuki. I had called him the last time. I know they were doing their stunts and they were trying to have it more formalized. I think he got a bit of a disappointment in the response from the authorities. So I hope that the authorities take a more understanding approach that is not just guys on motorcycles just making noise, but they're actually trying to cordon off the area and take the stunts off of the highway and do it in a more safe and controlled environment. So I think you should give those guys a listening ear, because a lot of young people are looking at these guys as their future, and they have a very large influence. So if from a young age they could see that you can still have fun in a safe environment, I think that's a good precedence to set moving forward. Thank you to the panel. Everybody here, I mean, you know, I must say I'm impressed. Maybe one day you can invite me again, I don't know. That's for not in there. But yeah, that's it for me. So I also wish everybody gets home safe this evening, as we're on the topic of road safety. Yes.
Yeah, man. For me, road safety, I think of it like I've grown up around cars and bikes. I was always in the car with my father in the 80s, 90s. I got my... In the 80s, yeah.
Oh, in the 80s, I was in 80, you were.
80s, right. Yeah. In the 90s, yeah.
You're into? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I know, I don't know. 80, but like...
80s, I'm proud of 80, but anyway, that's another topic. Emancipation. I got my license at 16, 1997. I've been on the road for a while. What I used to see, like in the 90s and early 2000s, maybe in the 80s too, fellas would overtake in corners, fellas would do a lot of madness. And we had a lot less cars on the road, let's say.
Yeah, very.
But and the cars we have right now they would have crumble points, crumble zones. Because that's why I do. I fix cars. I'm an auto body technician. Your car would have, people would say that you have an airbag sensor, and they would think that the airbag sensor would deploy on impact, like they want to knock the car to it because of impact. But the airbag sensor is really a deceleration sensor.
Yeah.
So what it does that your body's moving, but your car just abruptly stops. So that deceleration, that quick deceleration, it would sense that, and it would keep you in one point, and the airbag would burst to keep you from hitting your head. It would keep you in that point, not to decelerate. Your body wouldn't decelerate that fast.
As a cushion.
As a cushion. So I see all these mechanisms, but I still see more accidents now. We used to have less accidents before.
That's true.
And we have more accidents now. And my main thing I think that causing these accidents is that I have the right of way mentality. Everybody think that they're right on the road. Nobody wants to yield.
Selfish.
Everybody's selfish. Nobody wants to slow down. Okay, let this guy come out of the gap. Let me let that pedestrian cross. Let me let. We have 10 cars on your side, and he coming down. He has the 8th car. You want to come down on him because you think you have the right of way. I'll get into the accident because I think I have the right of way, and that makes no sense. That's why you're getting all these accidents right now. The other thing, people talk about speeding, and I don't think. For me, is careless driving and people that just think they have the right of way on the road that causing all the accidents, all the fender benders. Poor decision making, not being aware of the surroundings. As you say, they're driving, before you tap that brake, they don't look behind, they don't look in front, they just driving in like they're in their own little world and their own little bubble. The other thing, as I was saying, is that if I don't have to come in and don't mention motorsports, because that's what we're into. I just came from Dominica, 767 Bike Live, Dominica Bike Fest. And that's what a lot of people need, a lot of the youths need. They need that outlet. They want to race their car, they want to speed. You don't have to do it on the road. You need to do it in a controlled environment. You understand? So I know our minister has been promising this for a while. Hopefully they say we might get it at the end of the year. And I told him from day one when he got into government that I'm going to hold him to it. We need motorsports need a home. Moto X need a home. Drag racing need a home. Autocross need a home. We need a home so that the youths, we can come and train them. Turner them had Moto X years ago. And out of that came a lot of good riders. You not hate these riders in the accidents. You have your son or your daughter from 5 years old. Yeah. They would have a bike coming, learning how bikes move.
Like Terrell, Sandre,
all these Prio. Yeah. Big up to all those who paved the way before. We need that. We need that outlet for the youths to come, and not just the youths, the older people, to come and let out and have the place to express themselves. So we need that safe environment. We need that. Yeah. And I just leave with people, be mindful on the road. Not sometimes I see fellas white lining and they passing whoosh, whoosh.
Yeah, man.
How you know a man not going to just chill or a lady just going to go open the door and see what comes
in between cars there.
Yeah.
Knocking.
Yeah, you're riding and driving for yourself, riding and driving for everybody around you.
Yeah.
You understand? So that's what I want. Just be more aware on the road.
All right, Mr. Compton.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys for inviting me to this podcast. I said earlier on, listening to when Carol made his point and he asked the question, I do follow, I do subscribe to your channel, as they say. You know, it is important to support our very own. So I want to say thank you so much for inviting me. I'm hoping that I can come and sit in the audience and have me a drink and some food, and the list goes on. But in general, discussions like this are important because it brings home the point, especially to the powers that be, that there are people out there that have a good understanding of things and what should be. And our job is to educate. Our job is to pass on information. To Carol's point on the trailers, yes, as per the law of St. Lucia, the trailers are supposed to actually be licensed separately from the actual vehicle.
Wow.
So every single trailer, whether it be a boat trailer, anything that's attached to a vehicle is supposed to have its own license as per the law, and therefore supposed to have its own lighting and all of that. Yeah. So these things are in place. But like I said, I think one of the panelists said so, one of the young ladies, yeah, it's being, how could I say, police it? Sometimes we say, it's sweet St. Lucia, if you do that, everybody go broke. But I have trucking friends, I'm sorry guys. How much money are you guys making every trip that you can't afford to have lights or reflectors on your vehicle, that when it comes around the corner, somebody come around the corner, they don't even realize that there's a truck there or something. You know what I mean? It needs to be a matter of safety for all and not safety for some. So it's important for me to bring that across. And I believe that with what you've been doing so far and concluding on this note and having such a panel brings that across. Bolo said, I'm from the MotoX Club. And our thing, 1991, we started out and we've been into riding and teaching people how to ride and kids, and that's what it's all about, pushing that safe riding. I encourage people in the car community, I encourage people in the biking community to join a club. The stats show from our standpoint that the majority of people who are finding themselves in troubles on our highways are not members of clubs.
No.
So it tells you that there's a discipline and there is a code that you are held to. So you don't want to find yourself, in such, because you're going to make your club look bad. And what you learn from others is in an environment which is encouraging you to conduct yourself in a manner. So it's important. And I echo Bolo's sentiments. I can tell you for sure, I have a letter, Bolo, from the ministry that went to Crown Lands for us to get the lands in question, parcel and block number, everything. We're working on that and that's happening. And I don't have the minister in my back pocket, but I can always call him. You understand? And have a word with him if there's a slowdown, which is something I do all the time, because we need to get to where we used to be. We started what you went to in Dominica. The MotoX Club, just to expand a little bit, started regional motorsports tourism long before,
Very true.
And that's where it started from. Now it has expanded. The sad reality is drag racing was in St. Lucia better than anywhere else. And everywhere now has surpassed us, have gotten further. The jobs that can be derived from, everybody's not going to be a doctor, everybody's not going to be a lawyer, and the list goes on. But there are a lot of kids out there who are good with their hands. And if you create a culture and you create an avenue in which they can invest themselves, the avenue and the area itself will grow, and by leaps and bounds. And persons will want to come to St. Lucia. We want to be like Barbados, which had Lewis Hamilton opening Barbados Rally.
Wow.
You know, Lewis Hamilton.
Top Gear.
You know, yeah, Top Gear was
that-
there
that
as
was-
well.
that was the Top
You
Gear
know,
festival.
so these are the type of people we can attract and model from them with what's happening.
What is that?
So
Decline from that?
come, you know, what may. I'm thankful for being
big
part and parcel of this. It's on social media. It's going to be there, so it can always be pulled up and looked at, and always utilized as a tool to educate. Also, I'm inviting persons down on the 15th on the base. There's an activity happening down there with cars from Trinidad. It's drifting. MotoX Club is doing a biking session as well. It's under the Octane umbrella with the government of St. Lucia. So it's a activity where all persons are getting an opportunity to participate. If you have never done it before or you've never seen it before, come and get a feel. All motorsports lovers, we're one family at the end of the day. Despite we may have our differences, which we all do. We're men, excuse me, ladies, we have a lot of, but we are all looking to cross the river. The problem is from which angle. So let's forget about the angle and let's just cross the river and make things happen.
Before Terrell
You know what I mean?
Just one thing I want to say. He said that when I went to see in Dominica, I didn't go to see in Dominica.
To participate.
No, Island Time Attack.
Yes.
We were organizing drag racing. We were a big organizer in the Dominica bike festival.
Okay.
Yeah, we organized the drag racing. We organized the obstacle course, some of the stunts.
Right,
we
right.
were the one organizing and making sure the
I stand corrected.
Yes.
Well done.
That's what
But
we do.
that
from
again,
St. Lucia to Dominica and
again,
we
that's it.
we trying to foster that whole one Caribbean.
Yes.
Yes, because if you realize a lot of the Caribbean islands we want to travel.
Yes.
And the government have to realize that the racers and the motorsport people want to travel and integrate
Yes.
with each other. We were talking about one Caribbean unity. For sure, we have in the OECS. So in the OECS, you can go from Antigua, you can go from Grenada, Dominica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent. All of us have our time, and we want more of that. But it's just like they have Liat and Wikia to go to Barbados or go to St.
We
Vincent.
need each other's islands.
They have to spend $1,000 on a ticket. I can take that $1,000 to go to Miami.
Exactly.
Yeah, our government have to look at that and know that motorsports want to travel and
There's a
make
new
it happen.
ferry. There's a new ferry coming in.
Make it happen.
Yeah, there's a new ferry coming in. Hopefully, there's much talks on that between the islands, and the idea is to replace Liat, so to speak, through water-based travel. So that is a big thing. Yeah, that's coming through. Inter-Caribbean, yeah, man. Yeah,
I've been in it for a while.
That's it for me.
I've been in it for a while. I see that.
All right, so in closing, I remember my first experience with motorsports when I just got my car. I went by the stadium, and at the end of the event, I don't know if Desmond remember that, I do a little slide and thing, and all of them wag their finger at me. I say, no, sir.
I remember that, Jason. I was the one who's wagging their finger at you. Yes, it was I'm autocross at the stadium. Yes, I remember.
But his little experiences like that can help foster discipline, and of course the phrase birds of a feather flock together. So if you're around people that act in a sense, then you're forced to try and act with a little bit of sense. With the last stats on the ratio of motor vehicles to persons was 2-to-1. For every one person, you have 2 motor vehicles. With an influx of importation, like Mr. Compton pointed out, 400 new vehicles coming in the island.
Minimum.
Every single month. The good news is it seems we came a really long way, but like my brother Jake Will said, I think we going the wrong way. Increasing car safety, but what about the people driving the car? Increased accidents. I myself am sick of seeing the amount of incidents on the road every day. I have a daughter, I have family, I have people I would like to see the next day. Beyond the rules, we have to think of each other and put road safety at the forefront. Thank you. This is it for season 3 of Grown Folks Only podcast. Closing with a bang. Thank you, my beautiful guests and panelists.
Yeah, man. Good vibes.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for inviting me. Yeah.
It's been great, guys.